Florida Mayhem coming out on top early in this fight.
They want to commit to this fight here, Houston Outlaws, and let's see if they can actually make it work.
The Mayhem are holding strong. Mayhem trying to close down the point. They got it!
Houston Outlaws not holding back.
The avalanche of white comes in for the Houston Outlaws.
Really well played. This is big for the Mayhem.
Hey, welcome back to the Blizzard Arena. Aaron here. So it's the last match of the night. We've got the Florida Mayhem versus the Houston Outlaws. Both are looking to pick up a win. Yes, I love it. So let's see who comes out on top. Let me hear you. Yes! All right, everyone sounds awesome. Throwing it over to you, Golden Boy.
I do agree with you, Aaron. Everyone does sound awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause once again. I command thee. Yes, my boys are up there too. All right, so guys, we have a last match of the day here. It's going to be the Florida Mayhem going toe-to-toe with the Houston Outlaws.
Spicy.
Great matchup, but you know what, though, guys? While I am very excited, and by the way, in case you don't know, we have lovely Bren Sideshow and Zoe here.
Hello.
Hello.
We do have the best fans in the world.
We do.
That's true.
Yeah.
We really
Make
do.
fun.
We have fans who make amazing signs. We have fans that reach out to us on social media with kind words and love and all that good stuff.
I don't. But
I mean, I do all the time. But there's one fan in particular that actually, wanted to reach out to us and give us a special message. And actually, Bren, I think you may be familiar with this one particular fan calling the Overwatch hotline. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hello, Brennan. It's your mum. Just wanted to tell you I think you're doing a fantastic job on the desk talking about your video games. But you should try to show a bit more confidence in your picks, love. Have a point of view. Show some spine. Make a commitment, son. Not like when you saw Harry Potter and committed to being a professional magician. Which reminds me, the rabbit, he's not looking so good since you left home. He's been a little still. Anyway, love, have a great show. Try not to use the sink as a bath anymore. I raised you better than that. Oh, and look after your friend, the curly-haired one, a bit more. He's a bit of a disaster, isn't he? Until that tall Swedish boy, he's got a real fan in Gloucester. Okay, goodbye.
a real fan in Gloucester.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was your mom.
You know, your mom sounds a lot like Golden Boy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's very odd.
No idea. Yeah, no.
That's
so
amazing.
Hey,
though.
give it up for Bren's mom, right? Bren's mom.
What a woman.
What a lady.
What a lady.
What a lady.
Oh, no. I hope my rabbit's
Good
okay.
advice too. I think he's dead, Bren.
Who?
Huh?
The rabbit?
Yeah, I'm
Impossible.
the insider, and this is my
I
insider
left him with
information
so
for
much
you.
food and water. There's no way.
Yeah?
Fine.
You think so?
It's
Okay.
okay.
Well, the good news is, while we would love to talk about Bren's mom, we actually have to continue on with our show here. So, this is ridiculous. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know what isn't ridiculous? Our first team that's coming to the stage. It's going to be awesome. Put your hands together for the Florida Mayhem. There you go. I'm just all thrown off. I don't even think they knew what to do with that one, so they're just waving their hands.
I mean, I'd be shocked as well. I mean, I am shocked, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I know.
Talk about
What's
shocking
that?
things.
What is that shadow man there?
Who's this?
Oh my-
All right, he's here. So I
My
read
God.
a tweet at 3 a.m. yesterday, 20-something hours ago. This man stepped into an airplane and was on his way to this arena. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Reinforcements have arrived. This is amazing. Lovely.
The only six-man roster in the league now has their seventh man arriving here.
Hooray.
Seventh man.
It doesn't look like he's actually going to play today, but he's
We
probably
don't know that. He might be subbed
I
in
dared him
for
on
the next
Twitter to
round.
play.
We
I
don't
dared
know.
him. I
You
said,
never know.
Zappos, you won't play.
I was promised a cage match on the stage to see who would start today, and I have not received this. Why is Zappos walking away? Where's he gone?
This whole beginning of this show has just been absolutely ridiculous.
Well, you know who else actually arrived today as well, which could be instrumental in this game? Their
My
new
mum?
head coach. No,
Oh,
not your
okay.
mum. Their new head coach, Ryder, who used to coach a team in Korea called Metro Athena. He has now been brought in to supplement their coaching staff, which previously was only one guy, Mineral. So we'll see if that fleshes out their roster and what they can achieve today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup for the Mayhem as they're looking to get that, those wins on the board. But another team that's looking to get a big win today is our next team. Let's welcome to the stage the Houston Outlaws. The Outlaws coming into this one 2-3 in stage 2, falling to the Los Angeles Valiant yesterday 4-0 in a heartbreaking matchup. But they have a lot of fans, an army of fans, if you will. I think if anything, you can always hang your head high with that one.
That is correct. And they had a strong start to stage 2 despite going down 4-0 yesterday. The players seem confident and in high spirits every single time they are taking to the stage. And, it's a long season. So you kind of have to be okay to be dropping one match or 2 matches, or even 3 matches every now and then, because the end goal is still to win the Overwatch League. Now, as I talked to their coaching staff about problems they have to deal with now in this stage 2, they mentioned that exhaustion and burnout is a big problem for all those teams and all those players who are playing here on this stage. And if the players feel overworked, there's no point in keep on practicing and driving them harder. So they're making sure to keep their schedule light and the scrims effective. So they will actually be cutting down a little bit on scrimming time.
Having said that, they're on an 11-map losing streak, which is currently the highest in the league out of any of the teams, despite being one of the top. So maybe they need to practice a bit more, Zoe. Maybe they need to practice a little bit.
Here's the thing, Sidechiller. I don't know what Houston Outlaws you've been watching, lad, but the one I've been watching, I've been playing consistently at one of the highest levels that we've ever seen out of a Western team in Overwatch. That's not even a joke. This team is stacked to the brim with talent. They got a sick tank duo in the form of Moomer and Coolmat, and they've got the beans.
Oh,
They've got the beans to do the job, the business. The analogy is not there.
God bless you, Brandon.
I think that's his nickname for Clockwork.
So we know the Outlaws have a lot of weapons on that side of the stage. But what do they need to look out for here going into the match against Mayhem?
Well, when I talked to the Outlaws prior to this game and asked for the big weapons on the Mayhem side, they pointed out Logix as well as Manitin. They said those are the 2 guys they're mainly going to be watching out for, and they are ready for them. So let's hope that's true.
You know what's really interesting is how this team works with and against Tracers. I feel like that has defined a lot of the games that they've lost recently. The ones that I want to point out are Logix and Jake today. Yeah. Even though Logix may actually not be playing the Tracer, they look like they were going for kind of a role swap where Tvik might be taking it over, but so far it has been Logix playing the majority of the Tracer for this team. And again, when you look at the other side, Jake has been playing the majority of the Tracer there, but Clockwork is starting out today as he often does on the Assault maps. But in general, the Houston Outlaws seem to lack the ability to deal with top-level Tracers, and although Jake has been certainly serviceable on that role, he hasn't had the best results recently going up against the absolute elite. So Logix is getting the better end of him most of the times, and Jake's stats are starting to slip, I think, as people realize that he's a bit of a weakness and start focusing on it.
Yeah, we saw what happened yesterday when Soon from the LA Valiant just had his way with the Outlaws. It was, Brent, it was not pretty.
I feel like a big part of that, their game against Valiant wasn't so much that Houston played poorly, but it was more of a fact that the play styles matched up perfectly for Valiant and how they play against Houston in general. So, and yes, you make a valid point about the Tracer duel as well, because today in this match, there's definitely potential. If Logix starts playing a maximum potential and Jake starts getting shut down a lot more on these 1v1s, there's potential here for a huge upset again. And Houston, obviously, they do not want that, as you rightfully mentioned. They're currently on an 11-map lose streak. However, they have the potential, they have the talent in this roster to definitely sort of pick it up from here. But still, it's going to be a fantastic game regardless.
Now, the thing is, though, the Mayhem have kind of just been going through a little bit of an identity crisis, if you will, right? I mean, talking about Logix, who I've always known traditionally as a Tracer, and you know, at one point he was one of the best Tracers in the game.
He was a god-tier Tracer.
Yeah, I mean, it was
he just peaked too early.
Yeah, that was it, right? You should have waited, man. Yeah. But looking at this match for the Mayhem, what can they do here? Because if they do switch out and have Logix play anything other than the Tracer and then put Tvik on that role, like what does that do to the team play style, if you will?
I think that's a really weird one as well, because Logix doesn't play the Genji for starters. That's where you have to begin. So if Tvik ends up picking up the Tracer, they'll be playing a more defensive play style, quite similar to how the Houston Outlaws play, playing a lot of Soldier 76 alongside the Tracer. And I think that kind of plays into Houston Outlaws. Like Bren was saying, yesterday the Valiant stepped up the tempo. They played fast, they played aggressive, and Houston Outlaws couldn't really handle it. And so I feel like that is the Florida Mayhem's best chance of pulling out an upset win here, is kind of abandoning your passive playstyle, which you've been working on a little bit towards the end of stage 1, beginning of stage 2, and really just go really hard with logics and an aggressive tweak on Genji and try and make the plays happen that way. Because the more pressure you put on Jake and Muma to try and make these flanks, the more I think you'll start to see Houston Outlaws crumble a little bit.
And that is the worrisome part for the Outlaws too, because once it feels like they get behind, they begin to, they really start to sag a little bit. So they're going to have to step that up too. They're going to have to match that tempo and momentum on the other side for Mayhem. Take advantage. You saw what LA did yesterday. Take advantage of that. Right?
Here's the danger as well, is that Florida have been changing up their play style throughout the entirety of the Overwatch League to play a lot more passive than they usually did back in Contenders as well. And they've showed signs of them trying to basically move forward with this aggressive sort of composition, basically traditional dive composition, but it just hasn't been working for them on the same level that we know that they played out in the past. So my real worry is that if this team is constantly chopping and changing between identities and play styles, that they can't really find a solid foundation, a solid footing to really start to take the match against Houston today.
It's going to be exciting nonetheless. Our last match of the day. Blizzard Arena, are you still with me? I love it. I love it. That's right. Well, let's go ahead and send it over to your cast. It's time to get the Mayhem and the Outlaws rolling on. And who better to call it than Semler and Hexagrams?
Thank you so much, Golden Fellow. So, Hex.
Golden Man.
I mean, I'm just going all the way, right?
Golden
we're
God.
going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it going. He is not the Golden God. Only one Golden God. But we just got to keep it rolling, man.
Dennis Reynolds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Five-star man.
There you go. There you go. Where are we going from this, Hex? Where are we going from this? Because, I mean, they did actually have a bit more time to talk on the desk, which is always great, because I do want to hear what those fellows have to say. Some of the greatest minds in Overwatch right there. Josh had some good points in terms of what the game plan could be here for Florida Mayhem. What do we expect? Do we expect to see them kind of going in with the all-in strategies?
Florida's a very interesting team. It seems they play up and down to their competition, just a level below. Houston's been on a skid lately. I believe they're on a 3-game losing streak. I mean, they already talked about 13-map losing streak. They got to find something to work with early on. I think that Logix can find his footing here, especially on Hanamura, because I've seen him have very dominant Soldier 76 games, a great Soldier 76 map in Hanamura. And maybe just Zappa's just being here is going to reinvigorate this team. If you're going to have to play Houston at some point in the season, it's good to catch them now when they're really struggling, trying to figure it out. And I think a lot of it is fatigue on a lot of these teams. We were able to talk to some of the players here and there. Like, it's just tiresome. We're going through a lot. We play and practice every single day. And it seems like Houston's trying to bounce up from that, and we'll see if Miami can snag a win.
This is when it starts to get
Florida.
really
I already did it. Call it Miami.
It had to happen once.
Yeah.
Let's all keep it out together, guys. So that's one. But we already have teams that are starting to adapt around that, it seems. And Seoul seems to be a front runner there, where they actually have different rosters that play and focus on different teams. They're that one match for the week. Great. Okay, cool. Those guys can focus on that one. Maybe take a little bit of the stress off.
Yeah.
Allow them to have a little bit more room to breathe. We're going to be getting into the action fairly soon here. 30 seconds left before Florida Mayhem go on the offense. And, well, Tvik is on Genji to start things off, so that could mean something.
Yeah, they really did focus on the Tracer matchup, and that's just how the Overwatch League is right now. That is how the meta is. If you don't have Tracer, you don't really have much, because you can't really run compositions without her. She's so versatile in what she's able to do, front line, back line, etc. Clockwork, a lot of people have given him some guff, but he's a natural Tracer player. He's got really good aim. It's just a matter of how they use him. Him versus Logic should be very good, and maybe when Jay comes in, we'll see that. On the defense of the Houston Outlaws, they are running double hit scan defense. Linkser is going to be on the Soldier 76. He is not on the high ground. They're running a squad-based tactic. They've got 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then Muma's going to be roamer.
Muma will go wherever the action is needed, wherever he needs to go ahead and plug a hole, plug a gap. They are going to be moving through here, straight onto the point. Muma goes leaping in immediately to try and snuff this push, and already we have a bit of green in the kill feed, but it is balanced out here.
All the supports are dead. Both sides lost all of their supports. All this damage going to be pretty bit permanent. Linkser just needs to stay alive so he can drop a healing station there, and Houston will pull this back despite losing their supports very early. They were able to make sure the other team was also in a terrible position, and even though the reinforcements will arrive quicker for the Florida Mayhem, Houston should be able to get back in full fighting form and hold this defense.
They will have the time, exactly. Logix was keeping an eye on it, so now at least Florida Mayhems have some information to go off of in terms of running back in where Houston Outlaws are. He can do that because he is Tracer and because he can go back in time, literally, and then blink over there to get some heals from his teammates. So they are back together again as that 6-man killer unit. Now it's a matter of Florida Mayhem finding a way to get onto this point. Logic leading the way.
Oh, this is really smart to rotate on this left side. It really hurts where Linkzr's able to get damage done. They're going to have the high ground advantage when they go up these stairs. Linkzr trying to find the right angle here, but that big bell in the middle is going to get in his way as well. So it's really kind of negating a lot of the things that Linkzr can do.
Looking for the shots. Clock, he's got that pulse, he's got that pulse. One of them has already been thrown in there. That was Logic's. Not going to get too much out of it, unfortunately for him. They are able to move around at Houston Outlaws, and now Linkzr forcing him back with attack visor. Big thing, though, no kills yet. They are managing to withstand this defense so far, Florida Mayhem. And they have been patient with ults of their own. They still have Trance, they still have Blade. Well, both of them come out immediately together. Tvik looking for the squishies. He's going to find two. This time the supports are both dead here for Houston Outlaws, and it's Florida Mayhem who stay alive.
A perfect combination of ultimates there. Zupe was able to use the Transcendence, and a lot of that fighting was going to happen on the point, and there's no retreat for where Houston Outlaws had set up their defense. Even if you go backwards, you got to run backwards around the bell through this door, then there's really no escape out there anyway. And with Zenyatta's speed during Transcendence, he's able to keep pace with that Dragon Blade. Also of note, the fact they used Tactical Visor beforehand means that there's almost no damage threat to Tvik's Dragon Blade. So a nice banking of ultimates there for Florida, able to cash him in for first point.
Just getting a bit of a grip here on exactly how they're setting up Houston Outlaws, because they have a bit of a presence on the high ground with the tanks. Fanny is in the usual spot for Ana, all the way in the back right corner, which allows him to just get those ults, or the nano, but also the heals straight on. Muma taking way too much damage there with that pulse bomb. So he's going to go down, but he is going to be quick to get back into the fight. Linkzr, however, will get deleted before anything really happens here. Logic's pushing Vanny back into spawn, and this is where it can start to get a bit hairy for Houston Outlaws. The Transcendence will wear off in a second, and that's surely going to be a dead Raucus.
I'm not even sure how they were able to get Coolmat. He was sitting in the Transcendence. They just focused him so hard, they're unable to heal out of it. It looked like he was going to be able to live through that with that ultimate. Muma's back into this mix now with a Primal Rage. Should buy them a little bit of time. 2 ticks already on the point for Florida, though.
Nearly get the third as well. Coolmat gets eliminated immediately. Going to get overwhelmed, exactly. Tvik back here with attack visor, just keeping Houston Outlaws off of this point. Although, as I say that, Linkzr, quick peek from him, gets the headshot on Tvik, drops him, but Logix is going to win the duel versus Clockwork. And while the May is the last-ditch effort here for the Houston Outlaws, Muma desperate to buy as much time as possible with the ice block.
A literal green wall might be saving the Houston Outlaws here as it buys enough time for Matt to get back, and now they're coming in. You need at least 1 kill to start going around on this, though. The barrier is going to come in from the side of Florida. This one should be all but over as they funnel in last second. Florida Mayhem will finish out Temple of Anubis, or Hanamura, one of the two.
Both of them are assault.
We're starting like an hour later. I'm all thrown off.
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
Definitely. But very respectable performance, actually, from Florida Mayhem. All-out aggression, but with some patience there, especially on that first point, A take, right? When you had Houston kind of battling back, those guys, what did they do? They hung back, they stuck together as a group, they made sure that none of them got picked, and then they saw their opening and they took it based off the ultimates. It's those kinds of plays that Josh is definitely alluding to, right? Where you just have to get in their face.
It was really nice to see the coordination and teamwork of using the ultimates. It's something that we thought about in the preseason even, that this is a team that even though they're a 6-man squad, they've been playing together as that 6 for so long that they should have the edge as far as coordinating ults, as far as calling and executing plays. And I think that the way this team should be built is you let Logix go do Logix things. That's fine. Just let him be your own. But Tvik has to be with the rest of his team. He has to use blades and get value out of it with the Transcendence. He has to be protecting his backline as well on whatever hero he so chooses. And that's definitely a strategy they can employ here. A pretty good time to be able to finish out this map.
Yeah, 403 in the bank for Florida. That's very respectable. So that's going to leave them some options here if they're not able to get the full hold going against Houston Outlaws. And, well, don't get too excited. Muma is, you know, we've grown used to this, Muma. We don't believe his lies.
He's just doing a hard light seance here. Usually has the turret set up in interesting ways. Not this time, though. He's focused.
He's just taunting us. Taunting us. Someday there will be a sim in play.
Someday. I don't know. Maybe not.
And Swoosh is, you know, he's just so happy to be here, man. He's doing his dance. Every time, Swoosh. He knows what's up.
Little Michael Madsen Reservoir Dogs. Clowns to the left of me, Jokers on the right. Stuck on the Winston with you.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to take some years off here. Houston Outlaws, man, those are going to be the target. That's for damn sure. Moma's switched over to the Winston. No Symmetra, no Symmetra, no Symmetra. It is going to be the Winston to open things up. Linkzr, however, is on Widow, so looking for those opening shots. Definitely going to be counting on having her tanks in front of her to make sure that she doesn't get picked on the other side. But then there isn't really that burst, that hard burst, apart from a Helix rocket from Tvik to remove her.
That's a little bit different. They've only had Logics on the one side and the Fiber elsewhere. That's kind of the strategy I mentioned coming into this map. Now, beforehand, on the other side of things, the Tracer is with the D.Va, so a little bit different squad play. Zebosai goes in and is taken down immediately by Raucus. Supports, killing supports, cats and dogs linking together, total mayhem.
Yeah, that's annoying for Link, so you unscope right as they come around the corner. Frustrating. Logic's doing a good job of buying some time here on the point, though, but they're keeping it together. Muma backing off to get topped up by his healers, and they are making progress. One tick picked up here for Houston Outlaws. Now they actually continue to push this further. It looks like it was because both tanks are dead. Linkster finally wins his duel versus Tvik, and we lose Zupe in the process as well. A very quick point A take here for the Houston Outlaws.
They will clean this up. It's going to be interesting to see what Clockwork switches to. Oftentimes, he will switch to a Soldier 76 in this situation. Has to use recall, so he might not have an option here. Bye. That's fine. He's got to switch now. Now he has an excuse. Wait, no, Linkster's on the Soldier 76. Clockwork going to have to make the walk of shame run back here on the Tracer.
That moment when you think you have 2 blinks, you only had one. You only had one, Clock.
It's all right. No one's watching Clockwork.
That's definitely not.
Completely untrue. Clockwork's got this pulse bomb. It's going to be really interesting. He's going to have to go far back where the supports are hanging out. Finds himself a free gift in a support right there. Zupe, Zebosai taking Z's.
Definitely not expecting that angle there. Zupe getting caught completely off guard. Self-destruct all the way up there, but it's going to be pretty much ineffective in terms of picking up kills. Clockwork still on him. He's got that pulse. He could go right onto Swoosh if he wanted to, but he's going to try and gang up with the rest of his team and take out the Squishies first.
4D chest from Clockwork's Tracer. He died to give them a false sense of security. Came back at an angle, able to take down supports. Still holding this pulse bomb. Going to wait for Transcend to wear off.
Yeah, waiting for it. There we go. Stick. Perfect. Gonna go for the D-Mech here. That's gonna happen. And so they are being very methodical with this approach here, Houston Outlaws, and it's working for them, just keeping those heals alive. You've got Bounty floating on high, and this is gonna be it. A quick tie, 2-2, but Houston Outlaws even faster on the point B. 5:38 in the blank.
Not entirely certain what the idea was with the Zenyatta being up there. Maybe it lets him get a little more sightlines onto his team to try to help healing and more importantly help add in some damage there. But usually on Hanamura defense, you want to keep your supports about 5 feet away from spawn door. That's where an Ana hangs out, that's where a Zenyatta hangs out, and you let them maybe play the point. So that's why Zenyatta will generally get the right side in that situation too, so he can see the orbs up top, he can contribute more damage. But he just found himself out of nowhere there. That early kill really tough.
I like it, Battle Mercy. In effect, Bonnie not missing the chance there. Yeah, I like it. Houston Outlaws fans in the house tonight.
Very green out there. A little green screen behind him too. That's actually the color green that they're.
Heck, there's a green screen behind us too. Does that make us Houston Outlaws fans?
That's a different shade of green. It's more of a Kelly green.
Okay, so we dodged that one.
Yeah, we dodged
All right.
it. Yeah, we can't be biased here.
Kick the green wall over. We're not a part of it.
Well, Muma even came out on defense on the Symmetra, only to jump off the edge, really rubbing that salt in the wound for those Symmetra fans out there. Symmetra fan, at least. There's got to be one. Someone's got a sign somewhere out there. Matt is going to do his normal rollout here. He is very far in front. He's actually right outside the spawn of the offense. He's going to scout things out to see what they're running, see if there's any kind of outliers. Lately, though, Matt's been getting caught out here by a lot of teams. They really understand that if you can take Matt out of this composition, he's like the cornerstone on which this team relies.
Yeah, his patience, D.Va play. Not so much for the balls he plays, but definitely the one to get high impact, high value when he decides to get into the fight. And he is already rotating up here to block them off. Tvik kind of poking at the door right now.
Matt's just going to watch all those angles, see if he needs to fly up and do a little bit of damage, but he is one of the most patient D.Vas. You already mentioned it. He's going to be pretty passive. He does such a good job of keeping his team alive and then turning bad situations into winning situations where someone's getting 1v1'd, all of a sudden, Matt out of nowhere 2v1.
So much hesitation there from the main group that Muma was able to go back and kill Logix with the help of Linkster. They just work together, and now they can go in here. They know they have the man advantage. Logix is still running back from spawn, and so Houston Outlaws looking to try and press that and pick up the kills. The tanks are down, but we lose Batty in the process. Tvik refusing to go down without a fight, and that opens it up here for Zebosai to get one on Muma as well.
That's actually huge. I thought Tvik was going to reset. He was going to the left side. I thought he was going to jump off the edge. He just found himself an amazing angle for the Dragon Blade there. Actually, might not even have been a blade. No, it wasn't even a blade, just dash resets from Tvik. I thought that was going to be a complete complete reset. They brought that one back from the brink. And even had he died there, getting 3 kills is an enormous trade. Beautiful play from Tvik.
Yeah, he's the one who turned it around.
Yeah, right here. I thought he was leaving right here. I thought that was over. And then he comes back in.
Because if not for that, if not for Tvik finding the perfect angle, it makes sense what Houston were going for. 6v5, we're going to get the drop on him, move in position, and let's go. Let's clean him out. Instead, it's going to be Tvik hacking Raucus's head off. Bloody murder, but Linkzer's there to try and turn the tide. He's got the tac visor. Going to get the DMAC on Maniton, surely, and the Hex onto the Logix. I like it. The Hex onto Logix, but the Helix as well. Just rockets. Rockets everywhere.
I mean, it is a curse to be named Hex. That's absolutely true. Zupe does get himself a couple kills that might be all that they need. But the defense will stabilize there. Those kills came a little bit too late. Tvik will move on to the Soldier 76, and I think Tvik is very good, but I wonder if he's outthinking himself. His Genji so far in this map has been astoundingly good. He just got shut down by Linkzer, who had the tactical visor there. It's Genji's worst enemy.
Yeah,
so now there's just switch roles.
It happens to all of us.
You don't even have to aim. It's kind of like cheating.
Almost as bad as seeing through walls. But then you actually have the reset. I mean, now Tvik is going to be trying to get up onto that high ground, get that soldier in position to rain in death and destruction from above. Good overview here, multiple battlefronts going, but Clockwork in the meantime is in a bit of a duel on the point itself, making sure that Logix can't get through. Logix going to get the pack, has a bit of an advantage, but Clockwork wins out in the end. And it will be Maniton going for the self-destruct, but no worries there for Clockwork. He can get back around the corner.
It's so important to be able to hit those blink melees. You can queue up your melee before the blink even goes through and it cancels the animation. It's so nice to be able to get that burst damage. Now though, trading back and forth, but trades back and forth will eventually favor the defense. As I mentioned, the spawn about 3 feet away. Tvik is uncontested up here, but I don't know if he's going to have enough to do it. Now with Logix falling, Tvik has to bail.
Tvik has to bail, and they still have a minute on the clock, but they don't really have our ultimates to work with. They're so far off.
They invested a lot there.
So, big investment from Florida Mayhem. They have made quite a bit of progress, nearly picking up the second point. But when you look over at Houston Outlaws, you're going to have Banny with the Nano, you're going to have Raucus with Trance, and better yet, you've got Linkzer who's 10% away from the Dragon Blade. I mean, that Nano Blade combo can just eviscerate a push.
This is a defensive setup that is really hard to crack. Who's ever going to get back here onto Ana unless you simply dive her? But even then, if you hit a sleep dart, you can get right back to spawn. The Zenyatta is up top in the stairway, so unless you're flanking him, they're going to be very difficult. I think the moment they see them, they should Nano Blade. There's the Nano, there's the Blade.
There it is. Just go straight into him. There's one. Could get a second. Nice. Is going to go for the style points. Reflect kill on Zevasai. And Linkzer's done his part. Now it's down to the rest of his team to keep it together. Clockwork minding the point. Logix was trying to look for a flank angle in there. And Logix could be the one to anchor this, to keep it still alive here for Florida Mayhem as Tvik gets chased away by Cool Matt.
If he had any more help and got Tvik there, this fight would have essentially been over before it started. A stagger kill there would have been brutal. As it is, they're going to have to sacrifice positioning just to get on the point. They have to walk down main.
Yeah, and you lose Logix in the process. Clockwork, man, he has really come through big in that duel this map. And now, well, it is going to be Raucus committing the Trance, trying to keep his teammates alive. They know that all they have to do is withstand this push, and they've got it in the bag pretty much. Tvik caught in the corner. Clockwork with the zoning pulse, whatever. Just throw them all in there. And the overtime, Wick burns down. Florida will only have the 3rd point at the end of round 3.
3rd point, got themselves some decent progress. They're on last, but the nice defense from Houston absolutely came through. I love that aggressive defense. And you can see it a mile away that they had Nano and they had Blade. Why wait? It's so much better in small areas. If you let them into the dojo, then you're spending half the time chasing them down. Moreover, if you miss a single kill that you think you're going to get, then you don't have the dash reset, and now you're just sitting out in the middle, not where you want to be. You'd rather fight them on a stairway, get in through there, and beautiful deflect kill overall.
Man, those are the hallways of horror.
Yeah.
Terrible things happen to you in there.
It really is. It's such a map design that someone loves Tracer and they love Genji, because the best spot to push this map is top right. It just is. It always has been. You go up those stairs, but the best place to pulse bomb a group of people is those stairs. The best place to Dragon Blade is those stairs. So it's a matter of getting through there as quickly as humanly possible so that you don't just die on the stairs.
Yeah, and then you had Junkrat kind of late showing up to the party, but he definitely gets his piece up there. There we go. Muma doing his thing. This time around, we have a little bit more.
Well, it's a smiley face if you flip it around.
Exactly.
There we go.
You don't miss much, do you, Hex? You don't miss much.
Oh, what I do miss is quickly pointed out to me on social media, so I try my best.
Now, we will have the quick change yet again. Muma on the Winston, no problem there. They were pretty much going for what worked for them in the first assault, and it definitely worked well. Linkser with that Widow, they didn't really have an answer for it, Florida Mayhem, and it looks like they're sticking to their guns. Florida Mayhem, similar setup again. Yeah, the answer is to stay out of those sight lines. Then as soon as Linkser comes in, Logic's job is going to be to try to jump on that. Logix is lurking very far behind on the edge of the map, glitching it out almost. Will get up in here, try to get something done, and now he's at least running distraction. Mercy very close. Logic the solo kill onto Bonnie. Yeah, solid work there from Logix, but the whole team, it was really just orchestrated. He draws the attention, that gives the opportunity there for the tanks to jump in, and then while it all gets kind of difficult for Houston Outlaws, as Logix does go for the recall, backs his way out. Progress being made on the point, though. Eventually, they will have to deal with this Florida Mayhem. And Manitin, Zupe just barely working their way over there. Are they going to make it in time? No! First tick picked up for Houston Outlaws. Bit of a mistake there from Florida. 100% free tick there from Clockwork. And he's going to make Swoosh pay for even trying to bully him off the point. That is 2 quick kills. They've gotten Bonnie back in here. This point is over. Yeah, Zebasai, it is the duel between snipers. If he could win this, at least that'd be like balm for the soul. Not going to happen, though. Cool, man. Runs them over, and it will be Houston Outlaws picking up the first point here on Hanamura. We're moving into the B. You can see it. They nearly have to cap B as well. Like chicken soup for the support main soul. There you go. New series. They do almost have Valkyrie up as well. They've got 2 support ultimates. They could just bully this in because the defense did not get a whole lot done. In fact, they've also switched to Hero as well, so they're going to be a little behind on ults. Actually, the support players did a very good job keeping it alive. That nano boost is out. Linkser needs to be hitting those shots. And Linkser gets caught by Logix, and so that's the end of that play. A lot of damage lost there for Houston Outlaws. Logix right now trying to go to work. He sticks that pulse, it looks like, but he is barely going to be able to make it out. 1 pack picked up, and now back onto the point here. Trying to hold the line. He is in line with his healers as well, so he will get topped up, and there we go. He's looking for revenge versus Clockwork. He knows the Clockwork is low as well around the corner, but he decides to focus on the point instead. Vic this time will be the one to shut down Linkser. Linkser got resurrected early in that fight, so they were at 6v6 for Linkser, not necessarily 100% on his game thus far. They would like to get just some progress here. Muma's gonna juggle in the corner, get a little bit of a kill, but no permanent progress as they are ejected. The Florida Mayhem DPS are playing at a higher level than they have in quite a while. Not to say anything about the supports and everything, they're doing their job and allowing it, but we've seen some great individual performances so far from Logix and Tavik, and it's actually been kind of rare for Florida that they're both on at the same time. That's been one of their issues. Oh, Logix, he's up there, man. What, 15 final blows? Tavik right behind him at 14. They're hitting shots. They're getting dashes in Tavik's case, at least. Always a feel-good moment if you're a Genji. But Genji, again, he's got the blade, and we're 10% away from the nano boost combo. If Zebasai can actually manage to get that up and running, things could get fun here. Houston Outlaws, they're deciding that this is the time to make the play. Clockwork is going to get down onto that point, try and draw them out of position. It's Logix whose job it is to just shut that down, and it looks like Tvik not waiting for the nano combo, just going to go in there and start hacking them to bits as well. Clockwork is gone, but 2 kills for Houston Outlaws. It was largely shut down by the Transcendence from Rockus. A nice reactive play there, but that means that there's nothing to help overall. Logix comes in, takes down both supports. A boosted Tracer, not something you see every day. Well, I used to see it a lot in China, but didn't really make a ton of sense there. Doesn't make a ton of sense here, but why not? Listen, Rockus is hating life at that point. He's just like, please. Oh, poor Matt. Poor Matt. Body blocked. They're not going to end this mercifully. He's going to have to commit his own coup de grace. Honorable Sudoku. Sudoku. That's what that word means, right? Never mind that Tvik. Never mind that Tvik gets the kill again. Gotta get them stats. Gotta get them stats. Gotta get all that little charge for your blade going up there. Houston has banked some ultimates, though. Most importantly, Tactical Visor is out. And also on the other side of things, Florida has used their support ultimates. So there's going to be nothing to hide here. They should just go all in on Linkser. Everybody give him all the support he needs. Give him this nano as well. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Or you could just get run over. Swoosh. Working very well. That was the Bionade as well coming through, halting the healing. Anyone get the license plate of that truck that just came in? He did not see that coming at all. He was trying to, I think, heal his team and throw down the nade. But then here comes the Diva in the way. You know, I mentioned earlier today that I think the Biotic Nade is one of the best abilities in the game, but its fatal flaw is that it goes off when it hits anybody. Yeah. It hits enemy or friend, it is going off, and sometimes you get some interesting interactions that happens. Mumo was down very low. They decided to go for it anyway. This is kind of just forcing it straight up. boosted in. Linkser, however, but if he manages to find the tanks, that's not exactly who he was looking for. Eventually, he will fall. Literally get knocked off the side. No! Swoosh ends him before that can happen.
I don't necessarily agree with using that there because Muma was dead for a while. He was down below at Little Pack and they dealt with it anyway. So they're definitely going in without Muma in that fight. So to commit that monstrous combination of ultimates, which could be so good in your final push, I mean, maybe they thought they could bring it back there. Muma would be able to get back to the point if they were contesting because he can pop Primal Rage and just simply triple jump all the way back to the point. They do have some things to work with though. The tanks are gonna have their ultimates up as well. So far, Florida's defense has been strong, and now Florida has rebacked their support ultimates.
Yeah, they have the Wombo combo again here. They can go for the Nano Boosted Blade if they want. We'll see if that's going to be the choice, but Raucus has got Trance again to cancel out that Blade, so we'll see. If they can bait out the Trance, if they can put pressure on Raucus, get him to use that Trance early, that will open it up, but instead they're just going to go ahead and dive right in. And that is going to be enough to eviscerate Patty immediately. So much damage between the self-destruct and the Blade. Linkster's gone as well, and there isn't enough time here for Houston Outlaws to reset. It's do or die. They have to get it done now.
Trying to get on the point, but there's just too much alive here for the Florida Mayhem. Coolmat's doing his best, does get one down. Linkser has switched to the Doomfist just to try to get here in time, but I think the point will be over by then. These tanks are low, these tanks will fall.
And Florida Mayhem, oh, just at the last possible second there, the touch to reset, but the overtime will burn down. And Florida Mayhem will be taking the first map in this series versus the Houston Outlaws. Houston Outlaws keeping the streak alive.
A problematic streak, if you will. Houston is
not something to be proud of, Hex. I'm not saying it is, but
Houston just can't buy a map win lately. It's not a map that they're necessarily great on. In Hanamura, you want to forget about that one. Some questionable ult usage there late when maybe a reset could have done it for you. But you got to give all the credit in the world to the Florida Mayhem. The DPS have come to play. I think Swoosh is playing well. If they can keep this up, we might see an upset going.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
right, welcome back from the break, everybody. It's time to get into map 2. Already Florida Mayhem, though. That's it, man. They brought the heat. Houston Outlaws are looking for some sunscreen right now.
Everyone on Florida is performing very well. You can look at the DPS, who have been both on fire, and that's, like I said it before, it's been a bit of a rarity. Logic's will have a great game, but then Tavic's a little off. Tavic will have a great game, Logic's a little off. They both brought it today. I think Swoosh is playing very well. There's some underperformances going on for Houston right now. They need to pull that together. I don't think Houston's really all that strong on Hanamura anyway. I don't have the numbers in front of me. That's just my feeling I get. But we are moving on to a control map, and we will get some subs in. There is the Jake of all trades. He will be subbing in for Clockwork.
Yeah, that's the guy to keep an eye on, right? Because now you're going to have some of that heavy hitting power that's going to come back into it with the Pharah, with the Soldier, with the Jake Rat, obviously.
And oink oink, here comes the boink coming in for Bonnie right there.
We'll see if he flies tonight.
Oh, he's plays a lot of Lucio, so it makes a lot of sense that you're bringing him for Lijiang Tower, as he can knock people into oblivion there too. I am still kind of questioning some of this decision though, because I do think Lijiang Tower, you know who I think is good on Lijiang Tower is Tracer. And you know who I think is better Tracer than Jake? I think Clockwork is still a better Tracer on his team. Just purely the Tracer. Jake has better versatility. Don't at me, please. I know Jake has a lot of fans out there, but I think Jake's Tracer has gotten better, then took a step back. It's kind of regressing this and that. It's just on pure mechanics, on pure aim. I've been a big fan of Clockwork since he played games that weren't Overwatch. And I feel that if you just put him in
there are other games?
There were. I don't think there are any more. Not legally for me to say, anyway. But he's got good aim, and he's on a LAN client, and I think that if you want to, just give him a try on just the Tracer and set him loose. I think previously when they've had Clockwork in the lineup, they played differently with him on Tracer. Just let him play like a Korean Tracer and get to the back lines and just let him do his thing. But that's not what we're going to be seeing. My armchair coaching aside, Jake is going to be on this map, and this map, I get it, too, because Tracer's really good at Garden, and that's a great map for it. You can play your own control center, but it's better for, like, a Junkrat, probably why Jake is in there. And then also on Night Market, I think Tracer can be good, but if the other team sees a dominant Tracer, they'll just start playing on the point. And that's where things kind of get locked down a little bit, so you'd rather have a 76 or even a Pharah in that situation. So my love of Tracer aside, I get it, I guess. Maybe.
Listen, you and me both, man. Every single broadcast, Samler, please shut up about the Tracers. The Tracers are so exciting to watch because there's so many different styles, so many big plays, different ways to approach a hero, a very interesting hero to watch.
She's on the cover of the game. She's the logo. She's very good, and she's mechanically very difficult to play. That's why you see at the highest levels. That's why everyone's running a Tracer right now. Big splashy plays. Tracer is going to be on both sides. The Lynxer is going to play it, and Tavic is going to play it. So both the off Tracers, while their counterpart plays the Soldier 76. Double DPS for both teams. Double hit scan DPS, right?
Yeah, curious to see how this matches up. We have seen Tavic on Tracer in the past. He has dabbled, and he's not like exactly a slouch either. He is doing a better job of farming up his pulse bomb to begin with, at least, but that just means he could be pumping rounds into tanks, and that's perfectly fine. Zebasai getting that beat going, and there it is! That's what we were waiting for! And he doesn't get it, just right on the edge.
Putting the fear in him, though. They have to rotate all the way around. Jake's now on that right side, so where's Zebo going to try to hit his next boop in? He's trying to line it up. There goes Jake. There goes Coolmat. It is a full reset. No one gets credit for those kills. Manitin says that looks like fun. Joins the party, and he's going to reset as well. Zebo side now playing the taxi service. He's going to go and bring his Diva back to the fray. I thought that hit, too.
I thought that hit, too. That would have been so sick.
Meanwhile, while all this was going on and people were not being knocked to their desk, Florida has taken control of the point. They don't have to fight on the point now. And this is where you want to live as a Tracer on this map. Over in packs all the way around the periphery.
Exactly, kind of be on your own. Healers don't have to worry about you. You just keep yourself topped up, and you're a constant thorn. Logic's playing the angles right now with the Tac Visor, buying a bit more time here for his team. Will do just a little bit of damage to Muma. And Muma dangerously low, in fact.
Well, Muma just beefed his jump. He tried to get up and over, and he caught a paw there on the rail and ended up dropping down. Almost cost him his life there as he got very, very low. Transcendence is now on the point, dueling Transcend.
Dueling Transcend, but Jake could make the difference because he still has his Tac Visor. Without that Transcend, there isn't a whole lot for them to use to stop him from shredding everybody. And while he does get a helping hand there from Muma, literally Muma punching supports in the face. Zebasai and Zupe gone. And while that is going to be Houston Outlaws successfully shifting the point back their way.
We'll take control of this. I wonder where Jake's going. I wonder where this setup is, because sometimes you'll leave a lot of people back on the point, but they want to get aggressive. They're going to take as much free poke as possible through the courtyard and try to set up Linkser here. They want to keep eyes on the doorway, eyes on the entrance. Raucus has already volleyed down Logix there, so that's already going to be a reset. Without that consistent Soldier 76 damage, it is a fool's errand to try to push into the point.
You definitely need it for the shield wearing at least. Keeping an eye on Tvik. We have Linkser who has his pulse. Tvik has just managed to get his as well. And there's going to be the angle. There's the stick. Logic's gone yet again. Even more valuable time bought here for Houston Outlaws.
Logic's died twice in the last little bit. You got to make sure that he just forgets about it and understands he's a victim of circumstance. Hopefully not get tilted off of that, because, I don't know, you die like that twice in a row, it just mentally hurts, no matter who you are. You took a volley from long distance from a Zen. It's like, you can forget about that. Then you get pulse bomb. You're like, why me? I'm only one of 6 in there. Why me?
What have I done to deserve this? I mean, well, Linkser just doesn't have a shred of mercy. You can see he's just enjoying himself after that stick, doing the crouch game.
And back all the way off here, make sure that their angles are covered, make sure that they have to come through front door. Jake goes down, a beautiful pulse bomb from Spic.
There we go, that's an opening. A lot of damage lost here for Houston Outlaws. He wasn't close to his tack visor though. Logix finally gets to use his, nearly hits the Helix. That would have been sick. Even knew where Linkser was going, but he's not gonna be able to capitalize. He has to play along with his Helix, play along with his tanks, and well, plenty of squishy targets here for him to go to work on as well. Cool Matt and Raucus gone, and now Logic's pretty much where he wants to be. Gonna be able to rotate around through these doorways.
Attack into Transcend, never really gonna get much done. Just simply does not have the burst damage to out-damage the healing that Transcendence does there. It's a pure counter, plain and simple. Unless you've got an on there with a Bionade. But that is going to be Florida retaking the point, 78% to 86. This is very likely going to be the last fight of this stage.
Yeah, and all the way away from the point as well. Linkser wins the duel, however, versus Tvik, but he gets caught in the end by the self-destruct. Awkward. They are still making progress, though, and they are going to be able to rotate Muma over. And now it's a question of whether Florida Mayhem are able to win this fight cleanly and get back to point in time to flip it back. They have to win versus the 3 that are here, but it's a 5v3 fight, and the sound barrier already used here.
That's a beautiful barrier. It caught absolutely everyone who was in the area. Only Zupe did not get the benefit of that, but here comes the tactical visor. Blown up! Tvik has had enough of your eyesight.
Super sick play there from Tvik. Not allowing Jake to get any damage done, and this is now a very favorable situation for the Florida Mayhem. They're gonna start streaming in here one after another. Boink, immediately eliminated. And now it's Jake on the Doomfist, hoping to get in here quick, but he's not gonna make it in time. Florida Mayhem take the lead on Li Jiang, 1-0.
Really nice play there, and Florida, and they only got stopped really the once, and then it was just a staggering hold because they lost Logix a couple times. Once they were able to get back in the mix, the most impressive play to me there was during that self-destruct in which Manitin was able to catch Linkser on the he got back into mech somehow. He was dead to rights against an opposing Diva, able to dodge the bullets there, get all the pistol damage in, and get back into mech, which is so important. At the professional level, even during self-destructs, you don't really expect a Diva to get back into her mech unless the self-destruct's from a mile away, trying to launch it into the air. But that was right in the fray there. It took a big chance and it paid off for him.
Yeah, that definitely started the ball rolling for him. Now we move into another favorite, and we're going to see the Pharahs at work. Tvik and Jake, both in the air, will go for the dogfight, and more importantly, they could go for the knockback. Cool Matt not going to be able to cancel it out either.
Trying to get all the splash damage here. I'd be surprised if they go after each other, unless they just fly a little too close, then you simply can't ignore and try to get that free rocket in there. Height advantage shoots Vic right now. And knock down Jake, and now they'll switch positions. Enthralling Overwatch play there as they send missiles past each other.
I'm kind of surprised to see them spend that much time trying to hit rockets on each other when the ground war is still going. Progress being made here by Florida Mayhem, but they will be able to touch the point. Boink, you can see, on his skates, up on the walls, barely gonna survive, and Logix cannot confirm the kill. Cool Matt, however, has been taken out by Tvik, and there we go, Boink, finally eliminated by his counterpart, Zebasai.
Just dancing on the walls there. It lasts a little bit, but not going to be able to rollerblade forever. Jake's gonna switch now that they've lost control of the point. This is the expected switch you expect from Pharah players. Really hard to regain control once it all has been lost there, so he's gonna have to counter the Pharah in the air. He's gonna need help from Raucus. A single Soldier 76 can't necessarily do it on his own, but with no mercy, it is possible.
No, Logic's getting the information he was looking for there. Now can be able to get into the main fight. They're all grouped up. This could be perfect for the Pulse, or at least to cut them in half, staggering Houston Outlaws for just a moment. Linkser still being able to actually be a threat here as the sound barrier goes down for Houston Outlaws. That's Boink getting it done, and on the point itself, the fight continues, although they are getting forced back. Angry Swoosh gets overwhelmed eventually.
Zebosai's going to stay alive and try to get in here. They have taken down Boink on the other side of things. Zebo's just going to stay alive as much as he can, take that percentage, take the last bit he needs for his sound barrier. 52% on the board for the Florida Mayhem. And now, as you see it again, once you don't have control, you're off of the Pharah. So you generally get 1 life on the Pharah here on this tower. Taveka's going to switch to the Genji. They've rotated into pure dive. I gotta say, Zebo took a lot of guff in stage 1, but I really enjoy watching his Lucio. It's his more natural hero.
Shaping up nicely. Jake, man, in a bit of a tight spot. We'll be able to get back to Rockets.
I just cursed Zebo so hard.
Yeah, you just cursed him pretty much. I don't know why. You know, you're just praising him too. Oh man, he's such a great guy. Oh no, he's dead. Yeah. And while Jake manages to make sure that Logix goes the same way. They held on to Zebosai's sound barrier though, and Zupe's nearly got the trance.
I don't know if that was by choice. Zebo just died the moment I said a good thing about him. That is the caster curse that transcends games in all games. I think it's Artosis' fault somewhere in this. Cool Matt does have self-destruct. Can be very good to just launch over the top and zone people out. Houston will try to get over this bridge here.
Still with the fight, no real way to knock him back. Although there is going to be the self-destruct. He's not going to get any kills out in the open. Just a fresh mech there for Cool Matt to keep the party going. And while Florida Mayhem still looking to try and take this fight, Manathan gets launched off the side. However, Linkser finds Zupe as well. And all the big kills are going the way of Linkser and Raucus. Raucus with 2. Houston Outlaws managing to hold on.
It's good to see Raucus come alive. He struggled a little bit there on Hanamura, the first map, despite a couple of decent transcendences. Now they are taking the lead here, 75% and counting up. It's the last chance for Florida to take this stage back and take a 2-map lead. But they're going to have to fight through a sound barrier. It's going to be tough.
Now they've got a couple. Swoosh has got the primal. Could use that to lead the way exactly. Drawing a lot of attention to himself all the way in the back line. Now Tvik with the Dragon Blade. Manathan finds Linkser. A big threat has been eliminated, but we do have the tag visor for Jake, and he's just hunting down targets right now, but eventually he will have to get onto this point. Logix blinks away. Zebosai at the tail end of the attack gets caught. But there it is, still Tvik alive here.
Well, there was no need for Zebosai to do that. Luckily, his team is still alive. Tvik is still in here very low. Will eventually get taken down because he doesn't have the AoE healing that Zebo would have provided there. Your life is so valuable as a Lucio, on control especially, because if you're running a Lucio Zen, Zen does not have the healing output. Not when Transcendence isn't up. They have taken it back though, and now it's just about holding control. Good thing now is they do have Transcend onto the point, and that should get them to sound barrier as well.
It's a matter of Zupe staying close enough, exactly. Finally going to be able to just dance in here and get that done. Self-destruct on the point itself, but that's only the D-mech. Fresh mech should be available there. Tvik, however, dropping dangerously low in a bit of a fight on his own, and he might get overwhelmed. Muma trying to put the pressure on the back line.
Muma, the escape artist, gets out with his life still alive out there somehow. Some say he's still alive to this day. But everyone else very low. Everyone else cleaned up. 94%. Houston's got to get somebody in here to touch the point. Here comes a surprise Lucio.
Surprise Lucio, exactly, but he's going to be eliminated immediately. Logic's not going to miss that time. Well, it's going to be Muma leaping through the window onto the point. Dead immediately. Linkser's going to be next. Raucus has to go for the trance just to skate his way out to the point to keep this alive, but they're staggered. They're just dribbling in here. Houston Outlaws and Florida Mayhem with the focus fire. They're holding the line for now. Boink doing the best that he can.
Trying to get everything he can in here. They gotta get a kill though, and Tvik gets the butt to the face. Is a huge visor here. So the bubble drops down, the barrier down as well, so he's not gonna get a ton of value from this, but drops everyone very low. Boink in a little bit of trouble. Kind of dancing in and out of the window.
Unbelievable that Boink is still here. Logix finally removes Muma. And we will have Tvik hanging in there, finds the shot on Boink, and that's gonna be it. No, no! What? Linkser gets it at the last second, but there it is. Florida Mayhem turn it around. It looked dicey on the second point, but they get that 2-0 map, and well, the map lead now versus Houston Outlaws.
Houston, we definitely have a problem. Down 0-2 to the Mayhem, and they look out of sorts. Give all the credit in the world to Mayhem. In the previous times, they've not had enough to overcome some of the mistakes. It's not flawless play from Florida, but they're getting people with exceptional efforts to cover up some of their errors.
Their sole win is versus Shanghai Dragons in Stage 1. Otherwise, it's been nothing but losses, big L's for Florida Mayhem. This is an opportunity now for them to turn it around.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
The incomparable Dusty Rhodes once talked about hard times, but the Houston Outlaws are living it right now as they are down 2-0 against the Florida Mayhem, who are absolutely crushing it. Welcome to the Half Guys Golden Boy alongside with Bren and Sideshow. And it has not been a good road for the Outlaws at all, but Florida Mayhem stepping up.
Crazy.
My question for you is this, gentlemen, and it could be anyone who wants to take it.
Okay.
Is this a matter of Florida performing well or Houston performing poorly?
Can it not be both?
Ooh.
It
Can
can
it
be,
not be both?
but I actually don't think that Houston are playing that badly.
No,
I think they're playing okay. I think they've had a little slump in form recently, which has led to this. What is it now? 13 map win streak. Lose streak, of course. unfortunately. But Florida Mayhem are playing a lot better. And Tvik, you can see highlights from him here. These are Dragon Blades like we hadn't seen from him before throughout the whole of the rest of the season. He's playing so much more aggressively than he used to.
It's the old Tvik, right?
Old
coming
Tvik.
out.
I like the old
Tvik coming out.
The in-your-face Tvik.
That's what I mean. The straight off the go Tvik. Like, this guy is popping off with these Dragon Blades. He's going in, he's making plays like we haven't seen from this guy in years, you know. And he's up against hard competition, you know. He's making these plays into Houston Outlaws, which makes it all the more impressive.
Yes, and I think that we've also seen massive plays coming out from Logix. And when you look at how these two teams match up, the Florida Mayhem loves to play against slower competition because it gives them time to think about what they're doing and set up plays. And they've decided to play more aggressively into that. So it's really nice for them that they've been given the space to be able to execute. But also, when we saw them play against slower teams in the past, they would just play slow themselves and just ruin the opportunity. So it's them being given an opportunity, but grasping it with both hands here, I think.
You know, to not go too off the rails here, you know, we keep making the Dragon Ball references. It's like Zappos is in the back just giving him the energy for the Spirit Bomb. For the Spirit Bomb, you know, maybe his arrival is what they needed.
That's all they needed was one more player.
Roster,
yeah, didn't even have to play, just cheering him on from the crowd.
Just be there, Zappos, be there for them. All right, well, let's move on to Lijiang Tower here. And again, you know, we were kind of expecting Houston to bounce back, get that win on the board. Nope, not going to happen. Florida Mayhem does it again. And honestly, what's going on here in this game? What were some of the things you guys picked up on?
I mean, despite the fact that Muma was pulling out, again, ridiculous plays. I mean, he was doing this in both Hanamura and this map here. But again, not quite enough. And this has always been like a sort of a trademark of Houston Outlaws as their fantastic tank play. But in this match, it was not enough to overcome what Florida Mayhem were chucking at them in the form of Logix just absolutely tearing the opposition up. They were going for this double hit scan, Soldier 76 Tracer composition throughout the entirety of the game, with the exception of Lijiang, where they started out on a bit of Farah. Yeah. But it honestly absolutely ruined the sort of tank line that they were trying to run at them.
In Lijiang as well, I was really confused because we came out and the first thing we see, Night Market, and Tvik is now on Tracer, and Logix is on Soldier 76. I'm like, all right. And then they switch it back over for Garden. I don't know whether they even know what they're running at the moment. It's all just Ultra Instinct. There you go. I made a reference.
You made a reference.
There you go.
Well done.
But also for the...
But it was wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was actually very wrong.
Very
There we go.
Okay.
But
super wrong.
That's not what Ultra Instinct is.
That's not what it is at all.
I don't know what it is at all. But for Houston Outlaws, they were also switching things up massively. Lynx are going over to the Tracer. We haven't seen him on Tracer for ages. That's been Jake or Clockwork. Jake going back to the Soldier 76. I think they're kind of throwing things at them. The thing with Houston is they don't have the massive star players on their DPS to be able to roll over these teams. They have to play their fundamentals superbly. And that's what they were doing in Stage 1. And at the moment, it's all a little bit shaky for them. And they don't have that star power just to be able to carry them through the games.
Yeah, well, they need to figure it out, and hopefully they will. Just saw someone come down here with a Torbjorn dab emote. Let's hope that never happens.
Hashtag dab for dad.
Just saying. No dab for dad.
That's what
no
the sign says. I'm just reading off the sign.
I know. I just have to move on from that. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the half. We know you all want to get into the action ASAP, so we are going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be Hollywood. Can the Outlaws bounce back, or will the Mayhem take the W? Find out after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. Halftime is over. We've heard what the desk have to say. Hex, I mean, what are the odds now that Florida can actually close this and get their second win here at Overwatch League?
I mean, it'd be heartbreaking if they didn't at this point. 2-0, they have to get through there. Reverse sweeps are a common thing here at the Overwatch League, but now they got a taste. Zappa's apparently the good luck charm. All he has
Doesn't even need to get in the server?
Yeah, just has to be in the building here. So already 2 map wins for the Florida Mayhem as we move on to Hollywood. Now, so far, I think Linkser's just having a bad day. I mean, he's missing shots that we normally see him hit. This could be a map where he regains it. It's a very good Widowmaker map. You expect him on there. Not necessarily a map that you have to run a Tracer on. I think we will see the Junkrat perhaps from Jake, at least on first point. So it maybe the map fits their style of play a little bit better than the last 2, but Houston down 0-2. That map losing streak has got to be getting in their heads right now, and it's a matter of bouncing back from that.
It's as soon as they can break it, right? You get that pressure that keeps on building and building. As soon as you can hit that breaking point one way or another, you're going to get some kind of change. And, well, if they can just pick up a map win, maybe this is where they turn it around. I'm curious to see if Linkser will stay on the Tracer for this or if he is going to shift it up. Tracer for the first point, yeah, sure. But second point, I mean, that's what you were talking about, right? That Widow, you get up on those rooftops. I mean, it's a golden opportunity here for Linkser to start turning it around.
Yeah, it's been the flaw in Houston's roster for a while, and everyone kind of knows it. It's no secret. They don't have the dominant Tracer player, and sometimes you put Jake on it. I think Linkser, if he had the 1,000 hours on it, I truly believe that he could play a good Tracer. He simply doesn't. I think they've got a couple players on the bench who might be their best Tracers right now. They're just not giving them the opportunity because they've yet to commit to running Tracer entirely through a full map. They want the versatility that they offer coming through as well. It's going to be difficult for Houston. They got to get over the mental hurdle of getting on this, off of this map losing streak. We'll see what the defense has to offer. So far, it looks like they want to run an interesting combination here.
Yeah.
Muma on the Roadhog instead of a more traditional main tank. So the dynamic duo of Junkrat and Roadhog united again here on defensive Hollywood. Cool Matt out front again, just wants to see what the team's running. In Florida, going to go a little more traditional here. They've got triple tank going of their own and their own Junkrat on offense as well. Going to take it slow and steady.
Tvik can play Junkrat. He can definitely do some damage there. Glad to see that we have a Moira in play as well for Zupe. All of those big, beefy tanks just ready to get topped up, get healed up, and you can see it, AoE healing from him, and he's already nearly up to 30% on his ultimate. See how quickly he can pick it up as they actually start to make the play here for the point, and that is a big hook on Linkser to start things off. Zupe gets the kill, but Logix did the work.
Well, with no main tank, Houston has to fight in the cafe here, and it's going to get a lot of progress on the point. Another hook is hit onto Matt. Meanwhile, Rockus has demeched Mannington. Still having to play in here. A tire coming out.
Who's it gonna find? It goes around the corner. Zebasai nearly dodging that one, but then right into the beefy targets. Tvik is gone. Logix survives. And another hook combo onto Linkser. Linkser just not able to stay alive here on this Tracer on the first point defense, but there are enough Houston Outlaws players alive to rebuff this attack. Although, as I say, that MOBA gets yanked in.
Logix is hitting every hook right now. Every time he's got it up, he's finding a target. Unable to finish that kill. Very difficult to finish off a Roadhog on a hook unless you get a lot of follow from your team. They did get 1 tick of permanent progress on that first point before their offense was rebuffed. Tvik, though, getting a tire of his own. Jake just chunking away, gets tires so fast, already at 50% again.
Yeah, this is where he gets that chance to shine, really. The J-Crack going to work. Trap is out there for Tvik, and the nade nearly catches him. Close call there for Linkser, and well, Tvik nearly had that as well, but he is going to go for the tire now, right through the back, and he goes ahead and removes Linkser again. Linkser just can't catch a break here on 8 Point Hollywood.
Well, he knew Linkser was over there, and he saw the recall, and instead of letting Linkser kill him while he was channeling that tire, he decided to take what he can get there. Jake continues to go to work as Mannington has been the primary target. Another hook is hit. Unable to secure that kill, though. That Diva very low. Cool Matt in a little bit of trouble right now. Has to go back for healing.
Get top back up again. They're making a tremendous amount of progress now on this point. However, Logix will survive even with the whole hog batting him around. It's all right. Logix hits the hook, but Tvik will be the one to remove Jake. Still not going to be good enough. And the self-destruct, no hero play there Unfortunately, they are not able to capitalize. And so once again, Florida Mayhem having to back off and reset.
Comes in very late so far. Swoosh during that tried to hit an Earth Shadow. I didn't exactly see it, but he got nothing out of it. Now back down to 7%. Now would be the time to make switches, if at all possible, at the 90-second mark here to get first map. And they're going to opt for a Far Mercy. In theory, works very well against this composition. No one really has the anti-air to deal with this, except for maybe Muma trying to hit right clicks, but that takes him out of the ground fight.
It's possible. There we go. Get him off the high ground as well. Into a direct rocket. Tvic already doing damage. 30% towards that barrage. Going to be a tough shot to hit there on Linkser to get a rocket into it, but still, they are going for the fight. Zebasai throws down the sound barrier, trying to keep his teammates alive. The tower, the tire rather, not quite going to do it, but Tvic mid-air clips Boink.
Jake's tire got denied by an awning, of all things. He could not get over that edge. Meanwhile, the Logic show continues on the ground, not missing any hooks. They will come through and clean it up. Swoosh at 70% now on the Reinhardt. I think that'll be enough to make him stay on this, even though Reinhardt not necessarily the greatest of tanks here on Hollywood Second. With all this verticality in play, Logix goes to the Widow, knowing immediately that he's going to be in a Widow battle with Linkser.
No hesitation there from Linkser either. Immediately swapped out. Tvic is back on Tracer as well. So not even going to work towards the barrage, towards that Pharah play. Doesn't want to deal with the Widow. And well, nearly a chance there for Logix to start strong. And it took too long because Linkser had the opportunity to take his head off. Headshot on Logix. He's out of the fight. Muma dangerously low though, but he will be able to back off. And guess what, Tvic? There you go. You can't miss that opportunity. Perfect one clip onto Linkser, who never saw it coming.
So sneaky, and that's huge when it happened.
Whoa.
Oh, really nice help there from Raucus to make sure that doesn't happen. Earth Shadow keeps going onto this fight. Matt is knocked down, but not forgotten, not out of this fight, forcing out a Transcend. Logix continues to do work, but Linkser's found him again. This is so back and forth.
Yeah, no, this is getting a bit chaotic here. As Linkser once again wins that duel. Linkser on the high ground again. Going to be a bit difficult, I think, for Tvic to get up there this time. Get any joy out of that. So Tvic focusing on the ground war instead, letting, yeah, exactly, Zupe try to go for the volleys to get rid of this sniper. And yeah, Linkser has to give ground. He's dropped low HP.
Almost got him there. The Valkyrie is out for the Houston Outlaws. Boink has popped that preemptively to try to secure this fight victory. Linkser misses his grapple, does find an angry Diva mech in his face. Oh, bursting him down to 9, but with a Mercy in his pocket, he's going to live through it for the moment.
Yeah, finally, Zupe is there to be able to take him down. Oh, but there it is. Just onto Maniton. No remech possible here. The tanks might be getting a little light for the Florida Mayhem, although Swoosh is still alive. He's got Earth Shatter again, and they're continuing to make progress with this payload.
That's what's been so impressive about Florida so far, is that it's been sloppy. A giant Shatter comes down, takes a couple down, and they will clean that up, sweeping the street with that rocket hammer. And now Lodged in a great position to deny entry. Does he see Linkser? Right there, Linkser! Out of nowhere!
What a shot from Linkser. He's definitely warmed up. Beautiful work. Now Jake gets the high ground again, chucking grenades in. A minute left for Florida Mayhem to get that second point under control. This is definitely all-out warfare here, Hex. There's nothing subtle about this.
No.
Just get in there, get kills, make it happen.
No one can.
Oh, they're both going to activate Infrasight, allowing them and their team to know exactly where the outlines are of the other team. All the information in the world. Zupe going down to Raucus really hurts. Now is the question, do you want to reset? Yes. They bail out immediately because they have an exit path on that flank. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Linkser misses that shot. The Widow duel in full effect.
He's changed up the angle as well. Linkser are going to be able to back off. In the meantime, Tvic is on a bit of a mission. Just exploring the map, checking it out. All the little nooks and crannies. And here we go. We do actually have Swoosh trying to take the fight to the high ground here, trying to dislodge this defense. Again, the follow-up shot, and Linkser both Widows getting the heals. And again with the body shots, they need the headshots to collect the frags. Instead, they will survive. Linkser now going to fall back to the point, try and close that angle off. And Linkser finally connecting. 2 big kills for him to slow things down here for Florida Mayhem.
And it's fitting that Linkser has taken over on Hollywood. This is where I remember him really showing up as the Widow. I think it might be his best Widow map by a mile, able to take the high ground as a 4th kill onto Tvic there. That is where the executive is parked on Hollywood Stage 2.
So let's go ahead and hear how it went down for Florida taking point A.
I'm above them behind the hook.
I'm low.
Hook that, hook that.
Nice.
I'm beating point. Tire coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to flank him.
Tire dead. Diva point.
half, Mercy dead. I booked hop. Any you take?
Diva.
I booked the Diva.
Fair point.
Diva the mech.
I lost mech. I'm fine now. Get hog. Hog that.
Nice, good job.
I'm gonna go switch. Yeah, I need
Yeah,
to.
I'm on phase.
I like it. That's a bit better.
Yeah.
In terms of comms, actually clean, not just spam. I like that from Florida.
Yeah, it seems like they're communicating very well. I think Logix can just say, I'm going to hook someone, because he was hitting such a high percentage of it. Just like, guys, I'm going to hook him. Don't worry. It's 100% guaranteed. And they seem like they're playing with a bit of confidence right now. I was most impressed with their second when it got into some really kind of messy Overwatch, right? It was back and forth. There's a kill here, there's a kill there. It's not decisive. But what Florida did was keep their eyes on the prize. Know that it's an objective-based game, and even while it was getting kind of scrappy and there's fights happening everywhere, it was at someone making progress there. Even though they didn't decisively really win a fight on stage 2, they got it to nearly the end.
So now we get to see, are we going to have a Houston Outlaws that'll go barreling through the defense, or will they get stymied? And Florida Mayhem, will they manage to actually close out this series? That's what's on the line here. The second wind of Overwatch League for Florida Mayhem. It's going to mean a lot to these guys. They've been through a rough patch. Whereas Houston Outlaws, stage 2 has definitely been a grim one so far.
It might just be the turning point that they need in the Overwatch League by far, because if you would have said a week ago that Florida was going to take Houston to the brink, I don't think anyone would have believed you. The way Houston was playing so well, the way Florida's been playing coming into this, but Houston on the downswing, Florida on the rise, looking to close this one out. Manitin scouting out, gonna fire some mini missiles, try to get a little bit of charge. Only 2% for him though. He will safely join his team. Full on die from the Houston Outlaws.
Now we're gonna get a chance to see Jake on his Genji. Bit of damage, a lot of damage in fact, El Tamuma to start. Not going to be able to collect the kill.
All this does is really charge Rockets right now. That's all it's doing. But it does slow them down a little bit. But you look at that difference now between the Zenyatta ultimates. Rockets at 35 and counting. Zupe yet to crack 10.
If you can't just confirm the kill, yeah, that's where it starts to get a little questionable. This time it's Swoosh on the Hog. He's gonna hit the shot. Linkser is gone, and Jake right through the middle of them.
That same awning that stopped his tire is the bane of Jake's existence. Someone call an architect, have it removed. Jake out with 3 only for the moments. Dispatch unceremoniously. If you're not a fan of Jake, you like seeing him die to the Junkrat there after the Jake Rat was the terror of the Overwatch League in stage 1.
Yes, Tvik giving him a taste of his own medicine for sure. Swoosh, though, showing that he is perfectly capable of hitting hooks on the Hog.
But this is where that damage is going to come to bear. Raucus is going to have Transcend for the next fight. Zupe rather just cracked 50%. They can use this Transcend.
They can, and Jake's got the blade. We do have a tire in play. Tvik is going to get it out, but right into the coffee shop they go, and there it is, 1-for-1 trade. But in the meantime, Coolman has overwhelmed Swoosh on the point. Manitin demeched as well. Going to make it very difficult here for Florida Mayhem to hold on to the first point. Stop this exec from getting to work.
They just were able to roll right in based on the fact they had Transcendence going in there. Everyone was healed up. You walk right into the coffee shop, demand a Grande Black, and they get it done there. Still Zupe. Okay, I know we're making a big deal of this early damage and how Raucus was able to capitalize on it, but Raucus back at 45%, Zupe at 87, and Zupe is yet to use a Transcendence, doubling the healing output so far. They're gonna move Jake over to the Tracer because they want a Tracer on this map, and Linkser's definitely gonna play the Widow.
Oh yeah, he is pulling ahead in terms of heals, Raucus, and while that is definitely going to be a bit of a help, high ground occupied already here by Florida Mayhem. They do have the ult combos now to try and make some magic happen though. Could get that nano boost onto Swoosh, let him get in there to challenge that payload. And we do have the trance now in play here for Zupe. There we go, sure enough, it is going to be... Oh, what a shot from Linkser. He was on the hunt, he gets it, but Manitin is there to try and bring it back. Now it's a matter of him getting out of here intact, and he will just manage it, and Manitin with the drive-by on Jake as well.
Some nice play there, Manitin, but that was so cool from Linkser. He scouted him out, saw him over there. It's why he peeked to the right, then went for the grapple. Instant confidence up over the top. Meanwhile, though, back at the ranch, they're still getting a little bit of progress here. Nice play by Florida to really force them into using some things just to get some progress. And still they're contesting near the cart.
They are. The cart isn't going to be able to make it too much way as Swoosh is still here in this fight. Zupe making sure he has him in trance range. And Logix wins it over versus Linkser. But we are going to get a few kills to go Houston Outlaws' way. Now it really is going to be on to make the step up. He spotted out Raucus, always a juicy target for a Tracer, but he decides to play it safe, get topped up again on the HP. He's got the pulse, forces it out, goes for it, but not going to find a kill.
Forced out Transcend. He was support hunting there. Maybe if he pops that earlier, he gets one of the two. Meanwhile, as it is, though, 3 to make it 2.5 kills over here for Houston as they continue to push Florida. He's take a deep breath and regroup. They will have a Primal Rage to be able to stall out this cart if need be, and it's rapidly approaching the end point here. They got to get to the cart.
Oh, perfect play from Tvik. Taps it just in time to contest. That's going to allow for the tanks to get through that choke point. But the rest of the team didn't make their way out here, and that's not going to help if Logix is getting his head taken off by Linkser, and Jake removes Zupe at the beginning of the fight. We will have both supports down for Florida Mayhem, and it's only a matter of time now before Houston Outlaws whittle down these tanks and get that payload to the point.
He got Matt out of mech, but that's not enough. He's deadly with the baby blaster. Houston is fighting back in this matchup. We'll take Hollywood. We're going to map number 4 with the series yet to be decided.
There we have it, breaking the streak. Houston Outlaws managed to make it work. And so we will be potentially going the distance now, as it will be on Florida Mayhem to stop Houston Outlaws from taking this to a 5-map match. And Tvik, wow, we saw some big plays from him, that's for sure.
He's got a great Pharah, but most importantly, it seems that Linkser has entered the game.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're getting into the fourth map. Definitely a chance, given the fact that Linkser has decided to show up. I guess playing in that coffee shop really helped, you know, perked them up a little bit, got them wired, and got them ready to play some Widow.
Get a little caffeine in your blood, get going there.
Oh, there you go, man. That double latte, extra shot.
Yeah, Linkser, to me, he's always been the best anti-Widow Widow. There's Widows that can take down everybody and really dominate a game, but if you want a single map matchup with Widow v Widow, I'm taking Linkser on Hollywood every single time. I've seen this guy do it for like 2 years on Hollywood. He's so good at knowing the angles. You saw it on display there. Struggled a little bit on the first couple maps. I think he would agree with that as well, but this is a pressure cooker game for both sides. Houston needs to get out of their slump right now. Florida looking to gain some positive momentum. They just got their reinforcements arriving. Would like to start it off with a win, get some positive momentum going. Yeah. Going up 2-0, that'd be brutal to lose it. We do have Bonnie coming back in for Boink because this is Gibraltar. You need a vertical support. Lucio not necessarily that guy. So they're probably going to be running a different kind of support setup here. Maybe an Ana, maybe Mercy. You can run a lot of different things. But Gibraltar, Houston still alive, trying to force a map number 5. They've stopped one streak, the map lose streak. Yeah. Now they have to stop their set losing streak, which is at 3 right now.
Yeah, oh, they could definitely do that. They can definitely do that because this is where I think Florida are really going to struggle, right? When the light is at the end of the tunnel and you're thinking, oh yes, we may be able to get a win here, boys. We're up 2-0, let's go.
And now there's that doubt in their mind as well.
It's right there in the back of your head. And guess what? Gibraltar with Linkser popping off on Widow. Logix, he's got his work cut out for him. Definitely didn't look too comfortable. He looked great on Roadhog to start off that map. You know, Logix, he was hitting so many hooks, but when it came to the Widow fight, he just couldn't measure up. So now the question is he going to be able to do the job here on Gibraltar?
I think you start out, you try your Widow because it can be so, you know, hot and cold. You got, are you feeling it? And it's like, I was almost there, I almost got him. And then if it's just not working, you have to swallow that fact and say, we need to try something else. And you can go tank heavy, you can go dive heavy, you can do a lot of different things to disrupt a Widow that's not just Widow v Widow. I do think having a better Widow is the easiest answer, especially on Gibraltar here, because if we get to that second point and last point where we've seen the day be defined by those Widow battles, on last point especially, it's going to be difficult without it. So I think you let Logix play this Widow to get it going, because you're going to need it if it goes to last point.
He's got to hit a flow. He's got to hear the music, get into the rhythm, and I'll start hitting some headshots. That always helps. That's all we see. Now, Florida Mayhem on the offense as the away team, going straight in. Swoosh and Manitin, not wasting any time at all. Checking out that high ground, making sure that Houston Outlaws don't have any traps set. And while they're just diving straight back in once again, that may cost Swoosh, though. He drops dangerously low.
All part of the plan right there. He had his Diva with him for a moment to maybe absorb some of that damage. Gonna go in again just to kind of poke them back. Usually, our first set aside, you don't see huge battles or fights here. It's a lot of just a poke game until you get to this point. Linkser sends a message yet again to Logix, and Logix wasn't being pressured by anything else. I think what they need to do is perhaps put Tvik on Genji just to start messing with Linkser because he's having a picnic back there.
Exactly right. You know, get that dive combo. You get both tanks, you get the Genji. Maybe you can actually just run Linkser down. Linkser is definitely getting supported by his mates, though Rocket's not far away. Gonna be able to watch his back. Right now, Swoosh just he doesn't want to show himself. Linkser's there, Linkser's waiting. Swoosh comes around the corner, back turned. That is gonna help, but it only delays the inevitable. But Tvik, yet again, has found Linkser. Will he be able to actually get the kill, though? 10 HP, and Tvik finally gets the job done.
I mean, it looks like Swoosh made a mistake there early, but it was perfect. He jumped in. He's going to be the martyr of that fight because the rest of the dive was incoming there. They had Tvik set up to come on for that flank. They also had Manitin up there to finish it off. So yes, they lost one, but that is a very well executed dive. Swoosh being kind of the distraction there, shows him his backside so that he can even land up there. And then it's not the guy you see in front of you, it's the Velociraptor that you didn't see from the side.
Clever Tvik, clever Tvik. He definitely feasted there for a second. Sevasai, though, will be able to res up Zupe so they can continue this push here. Florida Mayhem Logix back into the fight as well. So now it will be that battle for the high ground, perhaps, but there is going to be the wall hacks in play here. The infrared for Linkser. He can see through everything, and so that's going to make life a little bit more difficult here for Logix. Trans getting thrown into it here by Raucus as well, making sure that his teammates are going to stay alive.
Yeah, Tvik tried to hit the timing of hitting that pulse bomb right as Trans ended, but he ended up missing the pulse bomb. This blade is a wandering in the back. Is he even going to get, I mean, eventually he should be able to get Logix. Logix is dispatched by Muma. Jake gets very low. Meanwhile, though, Florida taking this opportunity to get as much free push as possible. Not free, they will lose Zupe for it.
Nice, clean Genji work here from Jake as well. Once again, Jake showing the versatility in his hero pool.
He can play a lot of things, and he has. The strange thing about Jake is you don't consider him a top 76, and then he has a game you're like, is Jake a top 76? And you don't consider him top Genji, you're like, is Jake a top Genji? He can really turn it on at certain moments, just not the most consistent on every certain hero.
Yeah, it's so tough to be at a top level on multiple heroes like that. Usually you have your signature, and then you move from there. Logic's getting body shot there by Linkser, who continues to dominate this Widow v Widow duel.
Well, he gets help there from Jake at the end as well, who pops up with a deflect, so that's just a free shot for Linkser to take with no damage in front of him. He's also getting boosted and pocketed here. They're letting Jake play alone wherever he wants, and he's finding kills in the back line.
I mean, it's just the Jake and Muma combo right now. Nearly eats an orb volley to the face there. That would have been uncomfortable. But between Jake and Muma, they just keep cutting in here. As soon as the tanks try to make the play for Florida, guess who's actually going for the back line and really trying to throw things in disarray for Florida Mayhem?
Look at where Linkser is. Linkser is so far forward right now. Him and Jake are guarding those doors. This is why your first push on Gibraltar's second is so valuable, because the giant door closes, and now you've got these tiny corridors, and you can watch all of them from a safe distance. Which way are you going to come in? None of them seem like great options.
Oh, here we go. This is a bit of a change of pace here. Tvik forcing the reaction here from Houston Outlaws. He's making quite a bit of progress on this payload. In fact, a lot of room gained. Cool Matt finally gonna get down there to contest it, but Manitin is now here to back up his boy, and they have managed to actually push their way through. Logix with the infrared in play now can try and start to win this duel versus Linkser as well.
That's how you open the door. You force them to fight backwards. That allows entry for everybody else. Bonnie out of this fight. Manitin will take down Jake mid-blade.
Oh, buddy, Jake is not going to be happy about that.
He shouldn't be. That's a mistake that probably shouldn't happen.
Now, awareness there, probably not getting called perhaps. Some comms off. Just getting caught by an SD like that, especially when you throw your blade into the mix, that's painful. And now, well, they lack the tools here. Perhaps Houston Outlaws. Jake is going to swap to the Tracer so he can get back into this fight all the faster. Up to 20% already. Manitin wins the duel versus Linkser. Bunny Blaster blazing away.
Not going to be enough. He's looking for an exit. They will show him the door 2 meters away, but that is where the cart will stall out for now. Under 2 minutes here for the Florida Mayhem to make another push at this and extend their clock. You know, I think they've done a good job of at least helping Logix out, distract Linkser so he doesn't only have to focus on that Widow v Widow duel. They're sending a lot of people after him. Manitin's got in on the mix, Swoosh and Tvik. They know that maybe Logix is just not going to win this 1v1, pure 1v1, so distract Linkser. Make him shoot at things other than just Logix trying to peek through.
Oh man, they know where Linkser's playing from now as well. Body shot onto Logix. Logix not quite going to be able to make that out. Or at least not going to be able to follow up on it. Linkser, however, closing the gap. He is going to get stuck. No, just barely dodges it. Bit of a missed opportunity, and that actually gave the space here for Logix to start to do some damage. Jake and Muma, as soon as Linkser's out of the picture, Logix going to work.
That's all he needed. He just needed a little bit of help from his friends. He takes down 3. Tvik there to clean up the mess, as well as Matt and Linkser will fall. Tvik and Logix have come to play today. They combine for a full team kill on the Houston Outlaws and will take second point.
All right, looking for this dagger. This would be a big one, too, if they can pick up Muma right here. Tvik not willing to overcommit. Still got quite a bit of ult charge off of that as well, off of that chase. And so Muma backing off, now going to challenge on the high ground. Doesn't want to let Logix get up there for free.
Tvik shouldn't show at all. He should wait until Linkser gets up here and pressure down Linkser, because that's what is going to happen up on that point. I think they did spot Tvik up there. He gets some help from his friends out there. They're trying to bait someone onto that bridge so that Logix can get a shot. Beautiful stick!
There we go. Now Logix has all the room. He knows it, but as I say that, Banny's going to be able to get the res off. It was so far in the back line. Banny just throws it out there and manages to get it to stick. Linkser back in this fight.
They're getting around.
Oh, never mind.
Manitin's able to get in there too. They are prioritizing the DPS on the other team. Manitin and Tvik team up to turn this into a 6v4. They can keep pushing.
Time to get in here, boys. You've got the chance as well from Zupe, and so that next fight should be a juicy one here. Muma's got the primal, and Linkser getting close to infrared. Will be able to pop it immediately. So Zupe, there's the trance. It gets forced. Cool Matt D-Max for now.
They're going to get back in here. Muma does have Primal as well. He can get in here. Now with Jake taking down Swoosh, they might not even need it. That is a couple kills. Primal is popped. Will get them off of the cart, off of the points. And it does seem like the Houston Outlaws at defense has stabilized. A retreat called for Florida.
Yeah, backing off, reset. You still have that pulse bomb there from Tvik. Manitin getting very close to the SD, but in terms of support ultimates, Raucus and Banny are going to have a huge advantage going into this next fight.
In an ideal world, Tvik sticks Raucus, forces Transcend. After that's gone, Banny hits Valkyrie, and then Logix picks him out of the sky. That's how you would script it if you're the DPS of the Florida Mayhem. Now, if it happens, well, then I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. But before that, we'll see Tavik is going to try the first part of this Rube Goldberg machine, set it in motion with a pulse bomb.
And Cool Matt is not being cool at all with Vic. Right now, Vic is getting a bit frustrated the fact that this D.Va keeps body blocking him at the doorway.
Just be chill, man. I'm just trying to say hi to your supports.
Yeah, look at that. There we go. Exactly the target. Oh, you might be onto something here, Hex, almost as if you have an English degree. We already have one part of the picture, but then Raucus finds the kill on Swoosh, and Linkser is still there. They've managed to get one and both ultimates out of it. Logix now has to find some damage because we're down to 3 seconds left on this point. Manitin is gone. Zebasai just launching himself in bodily. The Linkser's having none of that. Can somebody get in here in time? Vic could tap it. He will contest the last second with the recall. That lets Swoosh get into the fight now as well.
Well, that's a kill that they needed too. Taking down Raucus allows everyone to move with impunity up here. Zupe gets in as well. Tavik falls to Jake in that duel. Not grand for them, but they still have a lot of stall out potential. Linkser in the pocket of his Mercy, stays alive. Battle still going on in the cart. Swoosh makes his own zoo exhibit back there.
Just hanging out, but now that means he can back off here. And there it is, the opening! Instant res, though, from Benny, not wasting a moment's time. Linkser back into the fight immediately, but that means no res left here for them to work with on the Houston Outlaws side. It's overtime, though. They cannot leave this point. Florida Mayhem, they have to stay put. Swoosh praying, hoping for some heals from his teammates. Zebasai is going to be the one to take it over, and Manitin finally goes down. It's on Tavik now to come up with a big play, but it's not going to happen. The overtime would burn too long. As soon as they stopped touching that point, it was gone.
It's very close there. Razor's Edge. We'll see what Florida had to say about it as they took point B.
Go point. Monkey on us. Monkey on us. Dead.
Tracer on us.
Yeah, Tracer now. D.Va low main. Weak. Scout up. Walking up.
I'm walling.
D.Va weak. Just get the D.Va. Just clear the time. Widow still boxed in. Can't go.
Mercy on me. I'm boxed.
We're capping.
Okay.
On Mercy. Nice, good up, Logger.
Nice clean comms there from Florida Mayhem. I like it.
Yeah, just about some of the execution that's going through. What I would really like to see, and this is, again, I'm granted the omniscience of being in the casting and seeing all the angles, right? But I would like to see them camp bodies, because twice they resurrected Linkser, and you could deny that. So know that resurrection is probably off cooldown and ready to be used. Know that Mercy is going to generally resurrect Widowmaker because she's always dying in resable spots, and send your tanks there to punish that. Because then you've baited Mercy into the trap of, yeah, you want to help your fallen teammate? Well, here comes Winston, here comes D.Va, see you later. And you turn 1 kill into 2, and then you have a 6v4 rather than allowing that res and turning it back into a 6v6. I think there's some stuff that can be worked out. It's difficult to do. It's on a razor's edge, but I think it did hurt them a couple times because Linkser was getting an extra life, I think at least twice.
I think the one you're thinking about is the second time he was res.
Yeah, at the end. Because they were close and they were about to dive again. So if that dive comes in a second beforehand and gets onto the resurrection, maybe they can close that map out.
Maybe they can deny it and stop it
because
right
then
there.
Tavik almost got Raucus, but because Mercy was alive, she's all over the Zenyatta. That's an unkillable target for a Tracer, well, darn near unkillable. And then they're able to hold it back because their supports live.
Well, action about to go down here is Houston Outlaws. Let's see, similar approach from the Houston Outlaws to what we saw from Florida Mayhem. At least you will have Cool Matt just dropping in here saying hello. Definitely runs into some heat though, so he's gonna back off and start making some progress on this payload. Muma decides to launch himself in there, but he does have Jake backing him up. Jake on the Genji. And well, Linkser exchanging body shots, and again! First blood for him. Oh man, and that's awkward. Definitely thought for a second their Logix would take a bullet immediately as well.
They rezzed right in their face. They had some good tank support, actually. I think Swoosh went up there and dropped the little goldfish bolt over the top, even though the Houston Outlaws tried to camp the body like I was just talking about, unable to do so. Manitin's done a great job of making Linkser's life miserable. Another resurrection comes up onto Linkser, so the Widow's getting second lives here. Both teams know that this is a Widow map, and if you don't have one, you're in a deep disadvantage. Linkser goes down again.
But that's big. Logix winning the duel hands down with that headshot, and that allows him to have free reign. Jake riddled with bullets as well. Cool Matt just hanging on the edge, but will get demacked.
And they could just leave him too. Although the last D.Va I want to leave out of mech is Cool Matt. He's got Bunny Blaster prowess, but Manitin will put an end to that very quickly. And this is typically where teams hold. I really like that they focused the fire from Logix onto that area too, because they kept like booping up, and the tanks are there, and so he's just shooting through the backs of his own tanks. Finds himself a lucky headshot on a Jake.
Yeah, delayed info sight as well coming through. Linkser definitely knows it. That's going to make his life a little bit more difficult here to win this duel. And so now it's a matter of just keeping eyes, but valuable time getting burned off the clock.
Yeah, Linkzer's just going to wait this out. He will probably counter Infra Sight here momentarily. He's got 97%.
Yeah, he got that body shot on the Linkzer though, so just putting him on notice, letting him know Logic's. He's wired tight right now. Quick reactions. Looking for the shot as well. We are just hanging out because it is really going to be this duel that could hinge everything. Jake goes for the dash, predicts it as well, still hunting down Linkzer, but this is a little bit awkward. Eventually gets one slash in, mid to pack as well. Jake played that perfectly. You knew his target right at the beginning, and he managed to get the job done.
Prioritizes Logic's in the back line. That means Linkzer is free to roam wherever he may go. The Transcendence will come out for Florida, trying to keep everyone alive, but it's on the low ground. Now Swoosh overjumps a bit. Zebo has gone down to Linkzer.
They're making progress on this point still. Only just now will it get halted, but there was at least a presence there for Houston Outlaws. A few meters more gained, now getting contested. That's Tvik, and Tvik finds Raucus.
Tvik has been eating up these tanks in the last couple of engagements. He knows that that's the way to get Tracer value no matter what. You don't have to go after the supports necessarily. If he takes on the front line, the supports will fall shortly after. And, you know, it's actually been Logic's trying to pressure out the supports on the back line who've been dancing around up top here.
There it is. Ah, nice. The shoulder peaks, the jiggle peaks coming through here from Tvik. Not showing himself quite. And there we go, until he gets the pulse, but he doesn't get the stick. Link's just able to get out of harm's way, but that does allow Twig to rotate back around and keep that pressure going on the point. Playing around it a la Soon, making sure that nothing comes for free here for Houston.
Well, Zebo and Zupe are down, and that usually spells the end of a fight. If you lose both supports, there's going to be no healing for anybody. Now, Florida's game plan is to try to stall this out, perhaps get both of them out into this. They've got tanks alive to be able to do so. They're going to back out of this door. This is by no means over. The respawns are back into this. Can they get out? They will contest this. Tvik is lurking in the back lines as well.
Yeah, Zebo popping the wings, just looking to try and keep Manhattan alive as long as humanly possible. And Jake in the chaos here, looking for his targets. This could be perfect, and yes! Both supports dead again, Jake! Making the hero plays here for his team. 10 seconds left on the clock, and this is definitely a fight that Houston will win.
That's exactly what I was saying. So, like, Jake's on Genji, why is that? And then, is Jake a really good Genji? He has his moments on every single hero, able to find them right there. They will go through. Split, spawn, punish. And those are the last two you want to die to. Now, this left door, it is locked. Don't even bother. Door is shut by Linkzer over here. They're probably going to send someone else in bottom right, because if he can't try this one, that's generally where teams default to. But they're just going to wait for cooldowns to come in. They're going to get in behind their tanks.
There we go, tanks lead the way. We do have the Mercy out as well as Zebasai following up behind Swoosh to make sure that the big beefy target is going to stay alive, stay topped up. Logix has got Infraside, but Jake is once again, both kills. Jake making the magic happen right now. Zupe now on the edge, but Jake is going to get support from Muma, and Zupe's not long for this world. That back line again, the tanks go charging in, but it leaves them vulnerable, and Jake, he's got the focus right now, the laser beam.
He's gonna have another Dragon Blade up as well. Florida's been unable to use ultimates in these fights because they're losing such key components early. When you're losing heroes that you need for the next fight, there's no use in using ultimates. Should be one more brawl here. They're gonna transcend just to get entry onto the point.
Oh boy, and well, man, Jake now,
it's a countdown.
Yeah, he's just grinning ear to ear. There's another one. Doesn't even matter if he doesn't get the twig because Zupe is out of it yet again, and he will be able to back up here. Self-destruct out in the open, not going to find a target. Logix has won the duel versus Linkzer, and Tvik is turning it around. Raucus is gone. There is still hope, perhaps, as Manhattan, if he can stay alive a little bit longer, if him and Tvik can work together with the help of Swoosh, there is potentially a chance. But Linkzer has been rezzed, and from on high, he's going to wreck house.
It's ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous what we are seeing. Linkzer got a second life again. This combination can work so well together. A Widow and a Genji can operate on all levels. Are you in the front? Are you in the back? You can go anywhere. It is super mobile and where you're going to focus your damage on. And if someone dives back on Linkzer, one, he's gonna have a Mercy in his pocket and has had every single time. And two, then Jake can come back and help if he wants, or he can engage on the free supports that are gonna be in the back line where the tanks have dove on Linkzer.
Oh, missed chance there for Logix. That was a golden opportunity. His tank showing himself, drawing the shot from Linkzer. Now it's all going to be down to who gets that angle again. And well, with Infrasight, Linkzer, he's going to be able to win this duel. Knows that Tvik is right here around the corner, playing big plays here. Linkzer at risk. Could get hunted down here by Tvik, who's definitely trying to pour the pressure on. Linkzer getting shot in the back, but he gets tossed up thanks to Raucus with the trance.
so calm. He really wanted that pick onto the ulting Zebo side there. Got him very low, unable to clean him up. Wasn't even looking at the damage coming into him. Meanwhile, the onslaught continues. Gulmak goes in there. Zupe exacts revenge on Jake, who has been a thorn in his side. This push might be slowing down. Now, Matt's got self-destruct he can lob in here at any given moment. Not necessarily Matt's style to go for the super aggressive self-destructs, though, because every moment he's out of Matt, because every moment he's letting his team take bullets.
Right, they need to make some progress on this point, though. They are getting a bit dangerous. It's a minute left on this clock. And in terms of ults right now, Florida Mayhem are pulling ahead. They have Zupe with the trance, and Zebasai is in the lead in terms of Alk.
Just really good scouting. Tivik knows exactly where everyone's going. He sticks Linkser!
What is that stick? But again, Benny gonna be able to get that res into play. He is just ferrying Linkser along, bringing him back from the brink every single time. And now Jake, he spotted his target. Logic's, where did he go? Disappearing, he's vanished, he's playing as a rogue.
David Blaine has entered the Overwatch game and he disappears out of thin air. Tivik and Logix are on the warpath. They take down both supports, they've locked them in the doors. Now they're going to retreat. I'm not sure what I feel about this because I think you can fight down at that corner and make them fight through you. Houston Outlaws, Matt got off of Diva for a second, gets his free mech. They're back into this. They have Transcend, they will have Wings, and they have Primal. Here comes a self-destruct, forces out an early Transcend.
And Vanny's gonna go darting in. Jake has found Zupe, however, and so that's gonna be a bit frustrating, but we do have Linkser at risk, and Linkser removed by Tivik to start. Jake still dancing around the corners with Swoosh, looking to end him. But Swoosh taking a lot of damage, looking to fall back, looking to stay alive, just leaping left and right. And yet again, Vanny's gonna get the res off on Linkser. This is still possible here for Houston Outlaws. Can they get out here in time? Florida may have to challenge this point. It's getting very close.
It's just Manitin on the cart now, and everyone else is getting knocked in the doors. Muma's Primal Rage. Manitin's going to get D-Mac, the Destruct on the cart to get his zone people out. Logix falls to it.
And this is it, the moment that Houston were waiting for, and the fans were as well. Tying up the series 2-2. We're going to overtime here. Reverse sweep is possible for Houston Outlaws. It's gonna be settled on a control map.
This one is a bar fight. People are breaking bottles and shivving people with their backs turned. It has been sloppy, bloody, and absolutely beautiful.
It's this man in question right here. Jake with the big monster plays for his team when they needed him most. What fantastic work from him. We'll have to see if it's gonna come in here on the next map.
I'm pressuring her, she's out. Please me.
Come, keep falling out. Nice.
Okay, win above right. Help me, please.
I'm raising Ruckus.
Baby.
You Muma?
Focus car. Monkey.
Widow bottom right.
Monkey on car. We win, kill Monkey car.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
right, everybody, this is it. Florida Mayhem, they've pushed it. Well, no, Florida Mayhem looked like they could close it out 3-0. Houston, however, had something to say about that, and the reverse sweep is now possible because they've tied up the series 2-2, and we have to go to a tiebreaker now on a 5th map on Control.
We're going to Ilios, and if you liked the Widow play early on, if we get to Ruins, you're definitely going to see that. Ilios, you see a lot of different stuff. Boink, of course, is going to come in for Bonnie. Being a control map, this is what Houston likes to play, Boink being their Lucio specialist, and a lot of places to knock people off the edge of the map. There it is. That's how we got to this moment. Hanamura, Li Jiang, it was all Florida. Linkser awoke at the Hollywood stage, went off on Gibraltar. It also helps that you get 2 shots at it every time. Got resurrected a whole lot, but this should be a fun one. It has been scrappy. It hasn't been the cleanest Overwatch, but God, it's been some fun Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. It's been scrappy, chaotic. I like your bar fight. You know, that kind of does sum it up because you got stools flying through in the air.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're coming. All of a sudden, you got one banging you in the type inside of the head.
You don't know who's on your side.
That was Linkser all along.
Yeah, you're just punching everybody. You know, it's your best friend. It doesn't matter in a bar fight. Everything goes out the window.
Well, this is the fun one, and we were talking about this during the break hacks, but on this particular control map, we can have everything. We can get our Widow play. Hell, we could get McCree play. We can get all sorts. Maybe some Marissa with the Halt Fiesta at the Murder Hole.
Yeah, we are going to kick it off here on the Well stage. Well, I much prefer Murder Hole.
Dude, Murder Hole. Dude, come on. Like, stick with the program here, Hack.
Yeah, exactly. It is that deep hole in the middle, the bottomless pit. I am looking forward to seeing people go down there. Now, on this map in particular, you can see teams running Orisa for the pull into the hole. The Halt, I call it the Yoink because Simpsons has corrupted me, and Yoink is the best word in the world. You can see Lucio's drop people in there. You've seen Farah's on this map. You can see Widows on this map. Of course, Pines McCree made this map very McCree friendly as well. And that's what it seems like we're going to get from Florida here, as Logix will run the McCree. The other side of things, Linkser on the Widow. We've got a Tracer for both sides as well.
Oh boy, that was fast. You don't get used to it. You know, it takes a moment to adjust to a Lucio zipping around. But it will be Tvik sticking on that Tracer as well. Seems like he's gonna, that's part of the game plan now. You know, get Tvik on Tracer, let him go to work.
They've completely rotated sides here.
Yeah, not fair enough. They want to check each other out, you know. Hey, where'd you guys come from? Okay, cool.
Linkser just playing on the ground here. He doesn't want to really expose himself. There's some decent high ground for Widows here, but you're kind of out in the open on the high ground. Most notably, right above Linkser you can get on the ledge, and across from Linkser you can. But again, you'll probably die to a Zen in those situations. He gets jumped on, Swoosh takes him down. No resurrection this time, Linkser.
Yeah, he gets tased to death. And you're right, no res. That was a big part of it that allowed Houston Outlaws to keep the ball rolling on Gibraltar. And well, Logix getting shot in the face by Cool Matt. He will eventually get, wow, a lot of respect there getting showed by Logix. Not messing around, the flash combo.
Florida has taken control of this first point, and Ilios being introduced really showed you how valuable it is the first captures on control because of the enormous space that is on this point. And it takes forever to fully get a team off of here. It's the size of a football field, a soccer pitch, if you will, one of the two. But once you gain first control on Well, especially, it is so hard to get it back. You need a clean team kill. They finally find one for Houston.
That works, but Jake and Raucus are down. Still, not going to be enough here to bring it back for Florida Mayhem. Hold on to what you've got. Wait until the next fight. Logix with like the desperate Deadeye there. It felt like he just got jumped immediately by Jake.
This is not a great map for Deadeyes overall. When we get to Lighthouse, perhaps, that's where you can see enormous Deadeyes because the stairs give you really nice angles to get medium high ground. This one, Deadeye, I've seen Deadeye on this map more often to reload than anything else.
That's one way to look at it. That's an expensive reload. What are you putting, like silver bullets in there?
Well, that's how you kill werewolves.
There you go. Oh, yeah. So who's the werewolf here? Who's gonna go?
Winston and Reaper's got vampiric tendencies. You need that silver, Sephiroth, is all I'm saying.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Now we're just gonna wait for the wooden stake to get out here, and then we're really set. Linkser with the dash through Tvik. And well, Linkser has got the blade ready to go. Spotting some juicy targets back there in the back corner. Raucus, well, not Raucus. Jupe instead using the trance, and really that's gonna set up beautifully here for Linkser.
Right, finds one, there's two, there's the resets, gets two already. And now Florida has to decide if they want to reset on this one. Probably not the horses to finish this race. And it's in looking to dive off the edge. They will assist him to spawn.
Yeah, time is valuable. They understand. I'm gonna go ahead and help him out.
I'd be a little careful there. Deflect will be on cooldown as he dances out of that one. 63% and counting up for the Houston Outlaws. Only 35% for Florida here in the decisive map number 5. This is only stage 1. We're going to do another one. Jake lurking in the back lines. This is a good Tracer map because they never see it coming. There's so many angles to get behind the other team. He sees the McCree shadow and he says nope to that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Logic's shadow saw him too. The Logic's shadow saw him. There it is though, perfect. Nearly managed to get the one clip. That was cutting it so close, but that definitely put Zupe on notice. Banks out, baits out rather the flash. And now that means that Jake gets to go to town, gets to do what he wants, run game on these guys. Could go for the pulse as well just to confirm it, but a butt will do as well. And the pulse bomb right into the middle of things. Well, he kills himself. Never mind, Jake.
A celebratory suicide there. Meanwhile, Houston has held this map and looking to close it out as Linkser with the blade will take on all comers here. Hiding around the corner, Tvik trying to get back to the point, does his job just barely. I don't think the reinforcements are going to be enough. They got to start getting kills, Florida.
Yeah, that bubble does save him, but Swoosh still trying to... Ah, there we go, the primal. Now he can really go for the bouncy house, bouncy castle, just bouncing all over the place. Look at this guy. This is going to be so hard to kill him. And, well, you know what? Raucus isn't even going to care. He's going to be on the soldier trying to hold this back angle, back line, and, well, manages to force them off the point just long enough here. Houston Outlaws will take the lead on map 5.
It's not enough there. Jake with some decent tracer plays. Again, this guy, you never know. Is it going to be a good tracer? Is it going to be a bad tracer? That one was both in the same 5 seconds, because I was about to say, you got to finish that Zen. He didn't see it. You got to be able to one-clip that Zen. He didn't even really move. Jake, not necessarily the expertise or time on Tracer to know. You have time to finish that, then recall. But then he made up with it. He killed a healing orbed McCree. One-shot him, and he was able to dodge a flashbang. So that's Jake's Tracer in a nutshell, is that you're going to get both of those plays, and you have to live with that.
0 to 60, or the reverse, you know, in about 4 seconds.
All right, this could be for all the marbles for the Houston Outlaws. We are on Lighthouse here. This is a map that you can see a lot of different heroes on. No surprise, Logic staying on the McCree. That should help them shut down, in theory, Jake and Linkser, rather, who both very low. Meanwhile, Cool Matt opens it, draws first blood.
Wow, Tvik dropping incredibly low as well. He will be able to get out of there, however. Although Jake has got his eye on him. Linkser as well. Instead, it is going to be them once again managing to get a bit of an early advantage here, Houston Outlaws, with these kills. They're getting closer to those ults as well, and they will start generating percentage. And so now the ball is in Florida Mayhem's court. Tvik gone. Logix will be able to trade those, so both Tracers are out of it.
Logix has come to life here. He's taking down Jake. Now he takes down Cool Matt, and Florida lost at first point based on positional advantage. Boink takes down his counterpart off the edge. This one is turning into a bloodbath yet again. Florida will sneak control of the map thanks to the revolver of Logix. Where is he going to go here? Because there's a couple nice stairways you can get up to and get a really good Deadeye in on.
Exactly, he's got that. Oh, there it is. Instant shot on the Cool Matt to start things off. And yeah, he's kind of just trying to play around his teammate, it looks like. And there we go. Side angle. Not going to find anything, though.
I think there was a last-second bubble there dropped down. He barely saw it. The Winston got into that mix, and now Muma's going to take down his counterpart. Everyone finds their opposing number, line up for this fight. Florida will be evicted off the point. Houston will take the percentage lead.
Cool Matt bodily taking care of Manitin there. Just get out of my turf. The lighthouse is shining brightly right now, and it's shining green. Houston Outlaws will continue to pull ahead.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is just picking the guy who's their opposite and fighting them. There's divas on divas. There's Lucio on Lucio. It's Winston on Winston.
Yeah. But there's ult on ult, and right now at least Florida Mayhem have an edge on that fight. Have a bit more to work with here, and soon Zebasai will have the sound barrier as well. And so if ever there was a moment to really get the job done, it would be now here for Florida Mayhem. We have to just keep an eye on how much they're willing to commit into this fight. Well, Transcendence will be forced out here from Zupe. Swoosh gets caught by the self-destruct before he can get Primal Rage into play, and now they're getting melted.
It's why Matt took the path that he did. He wanted to land on the point that even if he was about to be demaxed, he'd be able to get the self-destruct off. He simply hugged his explosion, does not kill Diva, used to, does not anymore. And so he's able to get Swoosh off the point while maintaining point control. Boink sends Manitin off the edge there, and we are down to Florida's last chance to stay alive in this series.
At least they didn't throw ults away in that last fight. There we go. Zebasai, very solid sound barrier, hitting 5 targets there. That'll give them a little bit of room to work with here. Tvik looking for an angle as well, but that Trance keeping up his target. Raucus there in the corner. No post bomb stick, no kill here for Tvik, but Swoosh and Zupe working together. 2 kills to start things off for Florida Mayhem, and soon a third. They should be able to flip it now.
They bring it back. They should get control of the point. They do just that. Houston is 1 fight away from taking this stage, map, and series. I don't know, personally, I'm rooting for Ruins. I just want to see some more Overwatch. This has been such a fun series to cast and watch. But now Houston has banked up big ultimates. Jake and Lynx are both sitting on their DPS ults. A blade and a bomb can be forthcoming.
Shield's going to be back in play here before long as well. Logic's got to be careful, and well, he's just going to throw it out there. Reflect, however, going to deny him a little bit. No! He waits just long enough to get the kill on Lynxer. Muma going to have something to say about that, though, but the Primal Rage wears off. Doesn't matter. Muma survives, and Maniton now on the point. Once again, forced back by the self-destruct here from Coolmat, and the remech happens, but Coolmat gets caught in the corner. Not going to be mech'd up for long.
Jake is taking down Zeb on the other side of things. They're still very scrappy. Tavik comes back in here. Do they have the horses? Jake still alive here, is able to take down his counterpart in the Tracer. Lynxer comes in with the blade, looking to lock this one out.
He has studied it, and well, that is going to be Zupe going for the trance. But that's the desperation play because Logix is going to die horribly, forced off the side. Zupe follows, and Zebasai not long for this world either. Houston Outlaws with the reverse sweep, although there is going to be a tap at the last possible second, and now we have the tanks getting into it as well. No, not in time! Houston Outlaws pull through. They find their composure in the end, and they win 3 maps in a row to take the victory over Florida Mayhem, who will be shattered after this one.
They needed that. You can see the relief wash over the Houston Outlaws. They break their streaks, trying to get back on track. Some hero performances all around. You gotta feel gutted for the Florida Mayhem, but they're still hanging with the top teams. Just a step away here or there, but Houston is back on track. It would appear so anyway. Great play overall. I don't know what I just saw, but I know I'm entertained. But I'm sure the desk knows what we just saw. Let's send it over to the boys.
Oh boy, what a great game there from the Houston Outlaws and the Florida Mayhem. Congratulations to the Outlaws coming out on top. Welcome to the desk here, Golden Boy alongside our Brennan Sideshow. It's a heartbreaker though for the Florida Mayhem.
Horrific. When their only win so far is over the Shanghai Dragons in stage 1, and then they came into this one, they're 2 games up, and it looks like they're going to be able to close it out. They played them so close in the last 3, and they're just not able to do it. That's absolutely brutal. Both teams needed this win though. Houston able to end their loss streak, pull off the reverse sweep. They're now feeling superb.
So one positive to take away from this is the fact that Florida are consistently looking better each time they play the game at this point. Each match, it feels like they are steadily improving with a lot of these issues that we have of them. And I mean, we're just going to be jumping straight into this. I mean, Hollywood was, again, it was Florida taking the wins very convincingly for the first 2 maps, and then suddenly Houston, I don't know what was what. At halftime, whether they got, whispered it, they got a bit of Michael Jordan's secret stuff, who knows? But they just turned this one around.
That's a good reference. That's a good reference.
That is an excellent reference, but unfortunately, nobody's going to understand it.
Space Jam, best Reddit on the internet.
90s references. They go over people's heads these days.
Indeed, indeed. It was a difficult game.
This is the map where they should have closed it out on Gibraltar, because Houston Outlaws and Jake in particular had to pull clutch plays from who knows where. Jake's going to be hurting after this map. Because even though across the majority of the series, really, Jake didn't have the best performance, but then when it matters, this guy just pulls out ridiculous clutch plays, it seems. And Jake here in this fight made all the difference for the team.
It was utterly mental, right? And now we're going into Ilios, and again, Jake making these crazy plays once again. Pretty much the majority of the team. Houston, again, pulling out the back. I'm shocked. I'm amazed that they managed to do it.
Yeah.
The full-on reverse sweep, not even let them get a single round.
I just can't help feeling so bad for Florida. It looked like it was right there.
It was
the biggest upset they could have possibly pulled off.
We know that the skill is there, man. We know that the skill is there. We know that this team, formerly known as Misfits, now the Florida Mayhem, there are stars on that team, and I'll be the first one to go out there and just say, guys like Tavik, I've been watching him for so long, and the talent is evident. They just, it's little by little, they're gonna get there, and but the thing is though, there is a person who's there, and that person is our Omen by HP player of the match, and that is actually going to be Muma from the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, Muma, we were looking at his play throughout this entire series just thinking, God almighty, what a boss, because he just seems to turn up every single time. Feels like we talk about Muma a lot on this desk, but for very good reason. He's not just an attractive young lad, but he also is incredibly good at Overwatch.
He is.
And he really did enable Jake as well throughout the entirety of this map here on Gibraltar, if I remember correctly.
And even though Lynx had good performances on certain maps and Jake came out ridiculously clutch towards the end of the series, both of them had times where they just dropped off, whereas Mumo was so consistently great throughout the whole course of the series that I think you have to give him the player of the match. Yeah,
without a doubt, he earned it. His talent and what he brings to the table for this team is so evident. From game 1 all the way until game 5, he had that presence. That's why he's your Omen by HP player of the match. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the standings here for stage 2 and where we are right now, because the New York Excelsior, they were able to get that win today, and that will put them at 4-1. We also, unfortunately, the Fusion ended up taking an L in that one. Houston Outlaws, though, they're going to be sitting at that 7th place spot. Not too bad for them, but here are the overall standings. The Outlaws, though, still in that top 5. They were able to get that victory today, so that puts them at double-digit wins. So that is quite nice for them. And, you know, at one point they had a crazy map differential, but that has kind of slowly dwindled down with the losses. They're going to look to have to bounce back. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's schedule. We're going to kick it off with the London Spitfire versus the LA Gladiators. Can the Gladiators kind of rekindle that magic that they had in the battle for LA? And then the New York Excelsior will go up against the San Francisco Shock in our final matchup of the day, which will also be another great game. Florida Mayhem versus the Dallas Fuel. That one can go either way. Very excited for these matches tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow looks like it's going to be great. Fisher against his old team, and then, as you said, that third match of the day. If Florida continue playing like this, I think Fuel have got a real game on their hands. They're going to have to prep hard.
Yeah, well, I'm pumped for it, gentlemen. And, you know, thank you so much for everything, for the jokes. And, yes, here we go. Time to hold hands once again. Come on, guys, do it.
Give me a hug.
No.
Give me a hug.
If I sit over here, you can't reach. You can't make.
You know what? No. You know what? I have backup. Zoe, come here. Come here. I have backup. I've had enough of this. We need some peace, love, and positivity in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there you go. There you go, baby. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow. Plenty more Overwatch. It's going to be dope. Sideshow. I love you, buddy. Bren, love you too. Zoe, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.